Warm greetings from the high 10. It's Everyday Shenanigans. Thanks for joining me. Hope you all are having a wonderful Tuesday. A bit cloudy, sunny here in the high 10, on and off. We're having some bad weather this week. Thunderstorms most of the weekend, rain up until Sunday. So if you all have plans in East Tennessee, I don't know how that's going to work out in your favor because it's not going to look good for this week. But thank you all for joining me. This is a two-part live pertaining to the rapper Trouble out of Atlanta, Georgia. He was murdered in a home invasion in a woman's apartment. I'm going to bring you that said information. And I'm also going to chop up the information pertaining to Uvalde. It is still a hot topic on the block pertaining to an investigation. As most of you know, the state's safety office is investigating this shooting. And also the Justice Department is also currently investigating the shooting. As far as I know, there is no criminal investigation by either the Justice Department or the state office. But some people want some accountability. And I'm sure the parents want accountability. So what happened to their children and the other children and staff in the school? As most of you know, children and staff will not be returning back to the Uvalde Middle School this upcoming fall. Where they will be placed, I do not know. Some parents may be homeschooling. I will bring you commentary to a parent who's decided to homeschool their child. Hello, everybody. Thank you, dear. Thank you so much. Should there be a criminal investigation of the police chief and the officers, because they have a very limited staff of people, because naturally it is a very small town, so they wouldn't have a big police department. You're entitled to your opinion, but I'm going to bring you information pertaining to the police chief saying he didn't even know of the phone calls that the children were making out of the room, which is even more baffling now that you're hiding. You, the mayor, the district attorney's office, all of you all, I would assume, are in cahoots. I don't know if the DA is going to bring forth charges or not. I'm sure they want you all's head on a chopping block because these were children and also adults. And now with all these 12 different versions of what actually happened in that school, children calling 911, you know they're going to get the records. The State Department and the Justice Department is going to get all 911 calls made that day, all phone calls that came out of the school. They're going to seize whomever phone to get the said information. So lying is not going to help. And whether you all are held accountable as far as being fired, you resign, or there's an indictment against the police department and the chief, you're not going to be able to deny phone records from the children's phones, the teachers' phones. It's a wrap. So should there be a criminal investigation against Uvalde's police department? Should there be firings? Should they resign? And should they be held accountable criminally in a court of law for not going forward into the room where the shooter was? Hello, Tina. Hello, Kathy. Thank you. We're going to start off with rapper Trouble out of Atlanta, Georgia. Very dicey situation down in the A. Oh, mercy, mercy. This is an update from the Rockdale County Sheriff, where this crime took place outside of Atlanta, Georgia, 25 miles east of ATL. Let me say this before I start. When you go into the YouTube queue, you'll see this lady, African-American female, speaking. Every station is going to have a different video. But what I found interesting is that the Queen found a video of her before she began to speak, and she seemed awfully jolly, smiling at the people in the room, telling them to please turn their phones off. Yeah, I'm going to bring you the real because that's how I roll. What's so funny? I mean, this is a serious situation. A man was gunned down in somebody else's apartment. You're going to give a news update only probably because he was a rapper. Because I think if he was a regular person, you probably wouldn't give an update. I'm just saying. But I'm trying to figure out what was so funny. Telling somebody to turn their phones off. Because a man's dead. And we're going to chop up how he came to be in this apartment. I do not know. I'm not going to speculate. And I don't even want to, past any rumors, because in the end, he's a grown man. He's entitled to go where he wants and visit whom he wants. But there was some dicey stuff going on between the shooter and the woman whose apartment he broke into and shot this man to death. Thank you for joining me. This is Everyday Shenanigans. Mercy me.
My name is Canty. I'm the Public Information Officer at Rockdale County Sheriff's Office, and the spelling is JEDIDIA. Canty is CANTY.
You guys are investigating a homicide that happened on the night. Can you give us some details?
Okay, so at approximately 3:20 this morning, Rockdale County deputies responded to a shooting. It was at the Lake St. James apartment complex in Conyers. Upon deputies' arrival, they observed the black male, lying on the ground suffering from a gunshot wound. Unfortunately, the victim did die on the scene. We do have a suspect. His name is going to be, what is his name? His name is Jamaica Jones.
Lord mercy.
We currently do have warrants for his arrest, but right now he's not in custody.
Is there any connection between the victim and the suspect? So
there is no connection. What we know,
this is older content.
That Mr. Morel Orr, which is the victim, was visiting a female friend at the complex, and Mr. Jamaica Jones did know the female, and it was a domestic situation.
Do you have any leads on where he might be at this time?
We don't have any leads. We did search the known locations that we thought he may be at, but we did not have any luck finding him.
Did you say it's a love triangle?
No, it's not a love triangle, not at all, because he was, the victim did not know the suspect.
Was the female with the victim? Did they ride together to the complex, or he went to visit her?
I don't know that. I just know they were together at the apartment complex.
What would you say, what message do you have for the community who lives in that area, who lives in that complex, who might be afraid for their...
I'm going to stop right there because this is older content from a day ago. He has been apprehended, and I didn't know that you have to know the other person in order for it to be a love triangle. Maybe I'm a little slow. Because if somebody else is messing with somebody else, oh my goodness. Everybody in the triangle has to know each other for it to be a triangle. I don't know. Maybe somebody can help the queen out. I'm going to stop right there. I'm going to go to the next commentary. I don't know, something about her just rubbing me the wrong way. Man accused of killing Atlanta rapper Trouble denied bond at Tuesday hearing. This is uploaded 2 hours ago. News 11 Alive is the source. Thank you for joining me.
Buying a medical alert system.
Mercy me. Woo. This world is out of control right now.
Tell us more about what happened inside the courtroom this morning.
Well, Aisha, what we did learn was Jamaica Jones, he was denied bond. He faced a judge just hours after he turned himself in to a Rockdale County deputy. Now, take a look at your screen. This is Jones appearing virtually in the courtroom within the last hour. He's facing charges, a home invasion, felony murder, battery, and aggravated assault tied to the deadly shooting of Trouble, whose real name is Morel Samante Orr. Now, Jones, he surrendered early this morning. We had a crew there after he was taken into custody and escorted to police. They say that the way they were able to track him down was with the help of his mother. She allowed police to speak directly to him on the phone, where authorities and his mother convinced him to turn himself in. Police, they did allow Jones to select where he would be arrested, which was a hospital in Clayton County. The sheriff says his mother played a major role in negotiations, a process they call peaceful. Take a listen.
Nobody wakes up in the morning wanting a bad outcome. And so utilizing the mother and my staff trained and equipped to talk to individuals and knowing how to deal with individuals, was able to convince him to work with us and to turn himself into us.
Now, we did learn that Jones's next court appearance will be scheduled for June 15th. Back to you.
And we will continue to follow the developments in this case. For the latest information, head to 11alive.com.
It's a crime that stunned all
right. Thank you. 11 alive, everybody. It's the source. So we have a suspect apprehended. I'm going to bring you information pertaining to this very sad story. Once again, another life gone for nothing. Lord have mercy. NBCnews.com is the source. Suspect in fatal shooting of rapper Trouble surrenders near Atlanta. Jamaica Jones, 33, this is a black male, was taken into custody in Clayton County at 1 a.m. Tuesday without incident. His mother was instrumental in his arrest. The man accused of killing Atlanta rapper Trouble turned himself in after his mother encouraged him to surrender to authorities, officials said. Jamaica Jones, 33, was wanted in the fatal shooting of the artist, whose real name was Mariel Samonte Orr, during a home invasion around 3:20 a.m. Sunday at Lake St. James Apartments in Conyers, about 25 miles east of Atlanta. He was arrested at 1 a.m. Tuesday in Clayton County without incident, taken into custody, in connection with Trouble's death, the Rockdale County Sheriff's Office said in a statement. And that's just to recap you what was said in this other commentary. The killer, Mr. Jones, was denied bond this morning in the death of Trouble. LA Times is my next information. This is to bring you information pertaining to the decedent, who he was and what he stood for and his connection to Atlanta. Atlanta rapper Trouble has been fatally shot in Georgia. According to officers, he was 34. His real name was Mariel Samonte Orr, was shot in an apartment east of Atlanta while visiting a female friend, according to a Rockdale County Sheriff's spokesman. He was found on the ground at 3:20 a.m. Sunday and pronounced dead at the scene, according to the Sheriff's Office. Now, at the time this was uploaded, it said no arrests have been made. But as I've told you, Mr. Jones has been arrested. Jamaica Jones, 33. He turned himself in, and he also went before the judge this morning, and he has been denied a bond. This is allegedly a domestic situation, and that Jones knew the woman, but not Trouble. Over the course of a decade, Trouble built his image in Atlanta, first as a name to watch and later as a major artist. 2016, he collaborated on Young Thug's Thief in the Night, still one of the most popular songs from Thug's mixtape Slime Season 2. Super classic, Rest in Paradise, Trouble, wrote LeBron James, quote, tweeting a video from the song Monday morning. In 2016, Trouble also landed his biggest Billboard hit, reaching number 70 on the Hot 100 for his work on YFN Lucci's song Key to the Streets. Lord, don't tell me that's who this is. And I play this all the time. My mind is going crazy now. Okay. Now I'm feeling some type of way now. Wow. This is weird because I listen to the song periodically and I didn't know who that rapper was in that video, because I don't keep up with all the musicians. Queen's getting a little old, but I do listen to some rap music, and this is just strange to me that he's the guy that was in that. And I just listened to that song today. It's very strange. 2018, he released his debut studio album, Edgewood, his most commercially successful project, with appearances by Drake, The Weeknd, and Quavo, among others. Over rattling production from super producer Mike Will Made It, Trouble drawed his street tales, bringing them to life in the 37-minute short film that accompanied the album. Happy to be able to have met you, laugh with you, make history with you, and give you a real opportunity you deserve. Mike Will Made It wrote Sunday on Instagram. Still one of my favorite rappers out of the city. Rest easy, Brody. Gucci Mane, T.I., and others also shared their condolences after his death, and record label Def Jam Recordings tweeted, "Our thoughts and prayers are with the children, loved ones, and fans of Trouble. A true voice for his city and an inspiration to the community. He proudly represented, Rest in Peace, Scoob." And that is his nickname that he went by. Trouble's death came a few short days after another tragedy within the Atlanta hip-hop community. TMZ reported that producer Metro Boomin's mother, Leslie Joanne Wayne, had been killed allegedly by her husband, who killed himself shortly after. The incident took place Friday, according to TMZ, citing unnamed sources involved in the investigation. Metro Boomin has produced songs for the likes of Drake, Travis Scott, and The Weeknd. In 2016, Boomin recalled to Fader the times his mom drove the then unknown producer 17 hours to meet Atlanta rapper OJ the Juiceman, believing in him all the way so long as he maintained his spot on his school's honor roll. My name is Leland Tyler Wayne, he told the Fader. My mom wanted to give me a name where no matter what I wanted to do, I'd be able to do it. An astronaut, president, whatever, Leland Wayne. Details surrounding the deaths haven't yet been made. The Atlanta Police Department could not be reached for comment Monday. And as I said, many people have posted to Twitter, social media, in the death of Trouble. And I just am just stunned because I'm sitting here now realizing who he is and that he's been in one of these videos I've been watching. And I guess I didn't know his name until today. Prayers to Mr. Orr's family. This is very tragic. This is tragic. I'm just like no words. Lord have mercy. I'm going to go in and see what else I have put up here. I thought I had a tweet from the ex-girlfriend. I can't find it. LA Times is a source. This is very sickening to me. Let's talk about what happened to Mr. Orr. Very handsome guy. I must admit, when I saw the picture, I was like, wow, this is a nice looking black man who now is no longer living. They're saying that the victim, Mr. Orr, and the suspect, Mr. Jones, Jamaica Jones, they did not know each other. And as I said in this commentary where they mentioned love triangle, it was not. This is what the sheriff is saying. There was not a love triangle because the two didn't know each other. And I was saying to myself, well, do people in a love triangle, do they have to know each other? I'm just asking. Asking a question. Because it seems like to me it could be a triangle. Even if the other parties who are messing with the one party don't know each other. But they're saying she was just a friend. In the end, it doesn't really matter who she was. The point is, why did this man break into this woman's house? Had he been watching her, stalking her? When was the last time they were together, dated? Was this just a fling, a side piece? What the hell was going on with this chick and this guy? Because now a guy, a Mr. Orr, Trouble, has lost his life because he was sitting in the wrong place at the wrong time. And the crazy part, besides him just killing this man, you kick in the door of some woman's house that you had some type of a domestic situation, because that's what has been reported. It was a domestic situation. He didn't touch her, from my understanding. He didn't kill her. But you shoot this man in the chest allegedly. For what? You didn't know him, but you're going to kill him. But you knew her, but you spared her. Well, you're not going to be with her. How about that? You just went before the judge this morning with no bond. So you're not getting ready to be with nobody. How about that, Mr. Jamaica? And thank God your mother talked you into turning yourself in so you didn't waste the city of Georgia waste resources running around like rats looking for you. And what were you doing at the hospital? I find it funny that you're at the hospital. That's where you you turned yourself in at the hospital. Well, you trying to get yourself checked out, sir? Play crazy? You mental? I'm just asking. What was the relationship between Mr. Jamaica and this woman? How long had they courted, dated, slumbered, whatever? Because now Mr. Trouble is no longer alive from fraternizing with this chick. That's a hell of a burden to carry around, is it not? You got some stuff going on over here, and then somebody comes and visits you, and the door gets kicked in, and your company gets shot, and you are spared to now walk around carrying a hell of a burden. That whatever you had going on with the suspect has now got this person over here killed who was just sitting in your damn house. Wow. Can't make this up. This is bad. This is real bad. I'm going to do commentary probably later this evening or tomorrow pertaining to people who kill for love. I may just let it be a broad subject matter instead of women who kill for love, because I was going to do a story pertaining to Miss Downs. And then, of course, you know, another woman who killed for love was Susan Smith. And then the broader side of that could be men who've killed for love, women who chose men over their children, and people who just kill because they're angry, mad because the person don't want them, won't be with them, left them, broke up with them, whichsoever. Why? This is one thing I can never understand. I can't understand killing the person that you say you care for because they don't want you, or you go kill somebody that they're with, dating, married to, whichsoever, somebody that's messed around with them. Why? You can't make somebody love you. You can't make them like you. You can't make them love you. So what is the purpose in taking their life or taking their company's life, or hell, even taking their family lives? We've seen that happen as well. Bum rush your entire family because the woman don't want you. There was a case out of California a few years back where this dodo bird, he sets the whole damn house on fire. After running it around in the living room, chasing folks and shooting them to death, if I'm not mistaken, then he sets the damn house on fire. Imagine that. Because she don't want him anymore. And I believe it was Christmas. That's just terrible. Kill people who don't have anything to do with what's going on with you and this person. And you just gonna shoot everybody in the house, set the house on fire because somebody don't want you. It's the craziest thing I ever heard. And to me, this situation is crazy. Rapper is in an apartment with some woman, allegedly just a friend. As I said, it doesn't matter what they were doing in there. They're grown. And then here come this little Teletubby kicking the door in and shooting this man in the chest. So it's like, to me, in my opinion, just from hearing that, you knew he was in there, whether you knew him or not. You knew somebody was in there that was a male. And you're angry because he's in there with this chick you've got something going on with or had going on with. For all I know, they could have been dating currently. She just invited Mr. Trouble over as a friend or whatever. Like I said, it doesn't matter. They're grown. But as the sheriff says, oh, there's no love triangle. Well, you know, people are going to think that anyway because it's two men and a woman. It's just the way people think. They're going to think the worst before they get all the information. But this man is dead. That's my point. How do you end up dead from going to visit somebody? So you have to be careful of the company you keep. See, that was always taught to you as a child, mostly from some people. Then your mom and daddy tell you to be careful of the company you keep. Be careful where you go, getting in people's cars, putting people in your cars, loaning your cars out, going in people's houses you don't know nothing about, going along with people you don't know nothing about, hanging with people you don't know anything about. It's the same when you're grown. Not just teenagers, early 20s. You can get dead at 40, 50. You get in the wrong peripheral. And I think you can judge from all the dead folks in the cemetery. Believe me, all those folks in the cemetery are not dead because of cancer, a heart attack, a stroke, lupus, whichsoever. They died because they were in the wrong place at the wrong damn time. And that's a terrible way to go. Get killed because you're in somebody's house and somebody mad at that person, so they take you out because they're mad at that person. And I'm not saying he should have shot her, but damn, what you shooting him for? You mad at her. You mad at her because she with him. And it may not have been nothing going on. Because as I said, these are grown people. People are entitled to have who they want in their house. You just go, what? Kick the door in. And you made sure to aim for him. That leads me to believe he knew he was in there. Come on with it, Queen. Take him to church. Because you know, the streets of Atlanta is probably talking a lot of junk right now because that's what folks do, especially with us. We gonna talk, make up stuff, lie, say what we know happened. But I can bet the gossip is that she was messing with Mr. Trump. And it'll be a shame for things to get misconstrued before the evidence is out. But nonetheless, as I said, these are grown people. People are entitled to visit whomever they want to visit, partake in company. But nobody should lose their life because of who is inside of their house. And what I'm also praying is that she didn't call somebody to say, trouble is at my house. Because, you know, that was the rhetoric and rumors when Mo 3 died. It was a setup. Because how did somebody know where he was that morning to follow him on the interstate and gun him down? And I'm not saying this is the same type of scenario because I really don't know what happened in that scenario. That was just street gossip. But I won't doubt that this situation will have street gossip as well, because long as you are in a place where it's male, female, other male, people going to gossip and they're going to make up all kind of crazy stuff. So I'm not going to say anything derogatory about what happened, who did what, because I don't know. I wasn't there. But it is bad. This is what you call really, really bad. To end up dead in somebody's house. Hello, Shree. How you doing? And now somebody has to bury this man. And God forbid, he has children. Somebody's got to explain to some children why the father is no longer alive. And let me tell you, nobody wants to hear nothing about somebody in somebody's house and they got killed. Why? That's what they're going to ask. Why you kill him? What was he doing to you? Bother you for you to break in somebody's house and kill this man. And they're saying that the two did not know each other, the victim and the suspect. The common denominator is the she. Who is she? Who was she to the victim? And who was she to the suspect? And now she's got to walk around Atlanta knowing she's the reason one's dead and one's in jail and ain't never gonna get out. Not no time soon. Because the fact that he broke in the house, you're not gonna get no parole on that. I can tell you that now. Because Georgia's a very hard state as far as being a criminal. They will throw the book at you. I don't care who you are down there. Especially if you got a dark skin, you are going to fall by the wayside. I'm just going to keep it real. I wouldn't do nothing in Georgia. I wouldn't even get a speeding ticket in the state of Georgia. And you can best believe that. And I think most people who live in Georgia will tell you the same thing. Very strict laws down there. Good old boy state. And it ain't the state you want to catch no type of charge, especially dealing with putting your hands on somebody, assault, sexual assault, rape, murder. You are not coming out of the jail or a prison. You're going to have to definitely whine and cry to somebody famous for them to rally for you to get your tail up out of prison. I'm just keeping it real. Jamaica Jones, why did you kill that man? You didn't know him. And you busted up in that gal's house and killed that black man, a talented man. Why'd you do it, sir? Did you know that he was in the apartment, Mr. Jamaica Jones? Did you know or assume something was going on between a she and a he? Were you messing around with this woman? Has she misled you in some form or fashion? Been ignoring you? Did you all have a restraining order? Why you kick that door in? Now you sitting up here in a damn jail for nothing. Because nothing was going on worth you busting up in that girl's house and killing this man. And she best to be very thankful you didn't shoot her. So she should be counting her blessings as well that she ain't dead. Lord have mercy, I'm dead. I'm dead. I'm dead talking from. This is sad to me. I don't know what's going on lately, but everybody getting crunk with the gun. Everybody want to shoot somebody. You shooting at the hospital, the school, the grocery store. You're kicking in people's doors, shooting their company. What the hell is wrong with you people? You people better learn how to cope. Everybody's got something going on with them. Everybody's got something they mad about, bitter about, vengeful about, spiteful about, hurt about. Join the club. Mr. Jamaica, you mad at the world because what? Some woman didn't want you? Well, guess what? Somebody didn't want me either, and I ain't getting ready to go find them. I ain't getting ready to go shoot nobody. I ain't getting ready to do nothing. Like they say, turn it over. Let God handle it. He'll handle it. He's a white maker. So that's who you should have turned it over to. Instead of busting up in that gal house and shooting this man. Kind of makes me wonder if there's more to this story. And I'm not trying to insinuate anything, but I know the two-legged creatures. And whenever somebody just pushes open a door with two other people in there of the opposite sex, it's something. And it may not be nothing to the people in the house, but obviously it was something to the person that kicked the door in. And he was wrong. Let me make that clear. He was out of line. Because he had no right to break into that woman's house and shoot that man to death. Prayers for Trouble's family, children. Prayers to the community. Once again, we have another talented black man that is now deceased from gun violence. And somebody's got to bury this man. Thank you for joining me. If you'd like to donate to the channel, the network, the dream, the everyday shenanigans, $, Big Angie, 129 Cash App, all super chats, stickers are welcome during this live. That is my commentary pertaining to Mr. Orr's passing. We're going to now talk about Uvalde again. It looks like I can't get away from this subject matter for nothing in the world. This is bad. All this crazy nonsense going on. I just got information here. This is I'm a week old. I just found this in the queue. If many of you who remember the rapper DJ Quick, his son has been accused of murder. Handsome looking fella. Looks like his daddy. I just saw this in the queue. It's posted to my community board. If I do not do a video on the subject matter, please go to my community board to get the said information. I don't even want to open it up to see what. I can't touch that right now. Fox 26 is the source. A child is going to give her a rendition of what happened in that schoolhouse in Uvalde, Texas. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you, Gabby. Visitation and funeral services continuing today in Uvalde, Texas for the victims of last week's shooting at Robb Elementary.
This is 5 days old.
Josue Flores and teacher Irma Garcia will be laid to rest, as well as Irma's husband, who died of a heart attack 2 days after she was killed in the attack. This all coming as police release some new information from the investigation. Meanwhile, the school district's police chief, who told dozens of responding officers to stand down while the gunman was still inside the school and 911 calls were still coming in from the classroom, well, he denies claims that he's not cooperating with Texas DPS investigators, telling CNN he has been in contact with the agency every day since the tragedy happened. As questions continue to mount about the response, Fox's Joy Addison spoke exclusively to a student who was inside and tells us she was one of those repeatedly calling 911, begging for help as the shooting was still going on. Joy, what a brave child.
Hi, Caitlin. Yeah, she is absolutely brave. And currently in the city of Uvalde, they are under a state of disaster. Governor Greg Abbott has asked for a look into the safety of Texas public schools. And we're not sure exactly what happened inside of those two classrooms in the school just behind me. But Chloe Torres tells us what she remembers.
Scared. to be like, what was my last words gonna be? So I was like very scared.
10-year-old Chloe Torres says the horrific shooting started after they came inside from recess, and her teacher, Irma Garcia, had turned on a movie.
Miss Garcia, my teacher, she told us we were gonna go in a quick lockdown. So my friend, he got up and he turned off the TV because that's what we had to do. And right when she went out to find the key and lock the door from the outside, we heard gunshots.
She says as her teacher tried to close the door, the gunman grabbed it and forced his way in.
And she started guarding us. And my friend Amory, she started trying to call the police with her friend's phone. And when they did that, he started saying, you'll die.
Chloe says her teacher was pleading with the shooter as she guarded her and her classmates, but her teacher's pleas were not enough to stop the gunman.
He shot my friends and my teachers, and then after that he said goodnight, and he started shooting everybody.
Chloe says he walked around the class shooting everyone in sight, and then he came to her.
He shot the girl next to me, and she said, I've been shot. And I didn't want to say anything because I didn't want him to come over and shoot me. So I said quiet, and he came back and shot her again because she wouldn't be quiet.
And then he went to the connected room next door and continued shooting. Chloe says when she heard him go back into the hallway, she ran in to see who was alive.
Really hard because you have to see a bunch of bodies around you, and it's really scary.
She says she called 911 several times, but she was told over and over that police were already on campus. By the time they came in the room over an hour later, both of her teachers and 19 of her classmates were dead. Her dad says he was getting the wrong information and did not know an active shooter was on campus.
I heard it from a coworker of mine telling me that it was a high-speed chase.
He says as the investigations play out, he's focused on Chloe's healing from this traumatic day.
It's gonna be a long road, this will never go away for her,
This morning, Chloe attended the funeral of her teacher, Mrs. Garcia. She says she also plans to attend the funerals of her co-teacher and her 19 other classmates that were killed in that shooting. And this morning, the superintendent said that what is currently Robb Elementary School, students and teachers will no longer return to. But Chloe's mother says in the fall, she will be homeschooled. In Uvalde, Texas, Joy Addison, Fox 26 News.
Is your home just...
Fox 26, Houston is the source. So here's a child explaining what happened to her and where she was. He sprayed the room, but naturally some did not get hit by the gunfire. Amen. He come back to shoot the child because she was talking. Lord have mercy. That's what he did with the last teacher who was alive when she answered, I believe, law enforcement, when they were asking questions in that final hour about who's alive or dead in the room. That's when the shooter shot the last teacher, from my understanding, because she was talking. So as you see, he didn't want nobody talking because he thought they were dead. And I was surprised that this little girl even got up to go see who was alive or dead. I'm very stunned that she got up. She knew to be quiet at first. He came back over there and shot her friend twice. Can you imagine lying there, waiting, and the people are outside the damn door. Nobody pushes the door open because they're scared. And you've called a few times on your phone, several times, which is however. Nobody comes in. There's no telling how many calls went to the dispatch from that school between the teachers, the staff, and the children. Now you just think about that for a second. Are we going to get a count of how many people actually called 911 from inside of the Uvalde school? That's teacher, staff, secretary, all the people. Teacher trying to lock the door from the outside. Lord have mercy. But he makes his way in. Sprays the room, thinks they're dead. They start chattering in the room. So he goes off and finishes them. Know that if you're ever in this situation, please don't talk. Don't say nothing. don't say nothing. Just lie still and play dead. Why did you all not push the door open? How is it that you didn't know that people were calling from inside of the school, children and whomever else? The police chief, I'm going to bring you commentary that he says he didn't even know that somebody was calling. So now this can be considered gross negligence on part of the police department, because now you're wanting to go on record and say you didn't know that children or whomever were calling from inside of the schoolhouse. So you want us to believe that all these calls went into the dispatch and the dispatch didn't notify anybody in law enforcement of the phone calls, that people were still alive in the school. So you decided that once he shot the 2 officers and you didn't hear no more gunfire, that he was done. So you still had a human being with heavy artillery standing in a room with other children and teachers, assuming that all of them were dead because you did not hear any more gunfire. Am I getting that correct? Okay. Wow. Should there be reprimands to the officers and the chief? Should they fire them? Should they resign? And should there be a criminal investigation against the police department and every officer that was on the scene that belonged to the Uvalde Police Department? Afraid or not, you did not do your job. You dropped the ball and extra people got shot because you didn't storm the gate, which is your job. And if you just had training 2 months ago or so, what happened? Where is the mayor? Where is the chief of police? Where is the district attorney of Uvalde? Why are you all playing possum? Because what I got a feeling is something bad is going to happen again pertaining to what transpired in that schoolhouse. I think somebody is going to act out if these people are not removed from their positions in the police department. You may have another situation on your hand. That's just the feeling that I'm getting. Premonition, rather. Because somebody's going to be walking around Uvalde holding a grudge against law enforcement. And you already have a district attorney being escorted to her car the other day. That's not a good look. That means she was afraid to walk to her own car from the office. Why are you afraid, ma'am, to get in your car? Just asking. So will the mayor also be having an escort around town? And will the chief of police be getting an escort around town? You're the same one that's now a city councilman. So you're going to be now being a chief, being escorted around town as well? Just asking. I'm going to bring you commentary from another child who survived. Amen. God is good. He's great, matter of factly. And as they say in the scripture, what the devil stole, he's got to give it back 7 times. WFAA is the source. This was uploaded 15 hours ago pertaining to one of the surviving children. She is a miracle. This baby recounts the terror of the Uvalde massacre.
In the midst of so much tragedy,
I'm very sentimental, so yeah.
we found a miracle at University Hospital in San Antonio.
All my grandkids, and I don't like for them to be suffering,
Jimmy and Tina Olivas are Kendall Olivas' grandparents.
Very brave little girl. She's tough.
Kendall survived the deadliest school shooting in Texas history.
Just glad that we're still happy with us. I don't know what I would do without her.
This brave 9-year-old girl is everything that's inspiring. Kendall, who loves dancing, Mexican bingo, and TikTok videos, remembers the moment the gunman stormed into her classroom.
Her seeing that, it's going to stay with her, forever, how she saw her teacher get shot. I mean, it just happened right in front of her.
Shot twice, once in the left shoulder and in her back, Kendall is alive and able to tell her parents what happened inside Robb Elementary. They are not able to speak publicly, but her grandparents are.
Well, I'm just happy, that they care for her. A lot of people care for her.
Kendall's story is not easy to listen to, but it's important to hear and understand the terror unleashed in her classroom. Prepare yourself to learn the horror she went through for more than an hour in her 4th grade class.
A lot of innocent kids, got hurt, passed away.
Kendall told her mother the gunman yelled out, "Y'all are done." She says she was the first student shot, and then teacher Irma Garcia was shot and landed on top of her. One by one, Kendall told her mother the gunman shot her friends. She heard each of them fall to the floor. Kendall's cousin is a classmate. He pulled Miss Garcia's body off of Kendall. Both Kendall and her cousin survived. The Olivas family is overcome with gratitude.
Thank you, God, for giving another chance.
After 5 surgeries in 10 days, Kendall faces a long road to recovery, both physically and mentally. Mrs. Olivas says Kendall's parents are faced with their own recovery.
He just cries, but has not really let it all out. I mean, he's scared, he's very scared.
Kendall doesn't want to go back to Uvalde. She can still hear the gunshots, the shooter walking down the hallway with his gun, and her mother says she can't sleep.
We will get through this. For her, we will.
The family says support and prayers from around the world has carried them. In San Antonio, I'm Cynthia Isaguirre.
All right, everybody. That's oh Lord. WFAA is the source. Very sick information. Very, very sick information. To hear a child, well, through the words of the parents, grandparents, tell you what happened. This was a madman, 18-year-old, very angry for whatever reason, storming in that schoolhouse. And before that, shooting his grandmother, then shooting at people outside the funeral home, shooting in windows, running around the parking lots, hiding behind cars, awfully busy for nobody to see this going on or stop him before entering the school. Door closed, door open, propped open, not propped open, locked, not locked. You don't even know what's the truth. And as I said, the only person I trust at this point to tell me the truth would be the children that survived inside of the 2 classrooms. Fox 26 Houston is my last source pertaining to this information. Feel free to hit the link if you'd like to give your opinion pertaining to a criminal investigation pertaining to the shooting. Do you think there should be a criminal investigation? Do you think the police chief and the officer should be brought up on charges of gross negligence of the people in the school, the children and the teachers and the staff? Because it is the grace of God he didn't go out of the rooms to other rooms. But at some point he knew they were outside and he would have been ambushed with gunfire. I guess. I don't even know if I should say that. If he would have even been ambushed, since they was too scared to go in the room, I don't know if you all would have shot him if he came out of the room. I'm just saying. Because something is off here. Hello, Joel. How you doing? My last source is Fox 26.
At a time when
oh, mercy. This is bad business.
Officer on duty know about
calls that were coming from inside the classrooms where a gunman killed 19 students and 2 teachers.
I'm Steve Eager.
Hello, everybody. I'm Heather Hayes. School District Police Officer Pete Arredondo, the police chief, told officers in the hallway to hold back instead of charging the classrooms. A Democrat state lawmaker from San Antonio says because of a system failure, calls were going to the city police, but were then not communicated to the chief. Fox 4's Alex Boyer joins us now live with that.
Oh, Lord.
Alex.
Come on now.
Hi, guys. That's right. You know, State Senator Roland Gutierrez was angry and at times emotional when he revealed this new information to reporters earlier today. He said that it's time, in his words, to pull the Band-Aid off of this investigation and added that there were failures at every level.
We have all failed. There's been a lot of failure here.
An emotional state senator, Roland Gutierrez, revealing crucial new details in the investigation into the Uvalde school massacre last week. It involves the 911 calls being made by terrified students who were trapped with the gunman inside Robb Elementary School.
What we do know is that the 911 calls were not being communicated to the so-called incident commander, Officer Arredondo.
Pete Arredondo is the chief of police for the Uvalde School District. Despite being in charge of the scene on the day of the shooting, Senator Gutierrez says information provided by the Commission on State Emergency Communications shows the 911 calls went to Uvalde PD.
My question specifically was, does the ISD police officer on duty know about the calls? I was specifically told no.
Gutierrez doesn't know if the information was ever relayed to any of the 19 law enforcement officers from different agencies who were staged in the school hallway as the shooting continued. Chief Arredondo was treating the scene as a barricaded subject rather than an active shooter threat. None of the officers defied Arredondo, all of them waiting until a Border Patrol tactical team arrived.
There is blame enough here to go around. There was human error and there was system error.
The development comes on the same day as 3 of the young victims were laid to rest in Uvalde. 10-year-old Ileana Cruz Torres and Nevia Bravo and 11-year-old Miranda Matiz. Funeral services for the 19 students and 2 teachers killed in the shooting spree expected to take weeks.
So the one family that I've spoken to, whose daughter was shot one time only, who likely bled out.
Right.
I can only say we are sorry.
Meanwhile, Governor Greg Abbott has called for special legislative committees to convene as soon as possible. The Senate and House committees are tasked with examining and developing legislative recommendations on school safety, mental health, social media, police training, and firearm safety, but no mention of gun regulations or restrictions. Senator Gutierrez, a Democrat, called it a slap in the face to the Uvalde families that Abbott did not immediately call a full special session.
Everybody's to blame for what went on, including Greg Abbott in a very big way. On some level, even including me, who didn't yell loud enough.
And Senator Gutierrez says he expects a report to be out tomorrow. In that report, should shed light on exactly what law enforcement agencies were at the scene at a particular time.
And will we get the truth to that? State investigators investigating the school shooting. Who's going to give the information? That's the point. Where does the investigation into Uvalde shooting stand? This is from GMA, ABC News. It's the source. Thank you all so much for joining me.
Examining the law enforcement response as part of their investigation into the shooting. And the Justice Department will soon launch a review to determine what went wrong. Let's bring in our Chief Justice Correspondent, Pierre Thomas, there in Washington. And Pierre, many people are wondering, could there possibly be charges for officers on the scene that day? Good morning.
Robin, good morning. One of the things that's remarkable is that 2 weeks after this tragedy, the police chief has not given a full briefing about what did or did not happen. It's unheard of. The essential question is why? Why did those officers not do what law enforcement has been taught to do in active shooter scenarios? Engage with and fight the suspect no matter the cost. That's been the thinking since the Columbine school massacre 23 years ago. As far as criminal charges, it's unclear what those charges could be. Perhaps some sort of criminal negligence, depending on the facts. Some say civil litigation may be a way of holding police and city officials accountable. We have word this morning that a law firm representing 4 families of students injured in Uvalde will launch its own investigations. But until investigators can answer some of the most basic questions of who did what and why, it's difficult to say. Will everybody involved tell the truth when interviewed? Is anyone obstructing the investigation? Those could potentially lead to criminal charges as well. Everyone's job right now is to make sure all the tough questions are answered. The families and that community are owed that much at the very least.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here.
ABC News, Good Morning America is the source. Great questions. Will somebody be held accountable for what happened in Uvalde? 2 weeks, no briefing by the chief of police of the school district, which is this Ariana Johnson. Let me make that clear. He is not the chief of police, but the chief of the school district. I don't know. Hell, do you have a chief of police? I'm just asking. So I want to make sure I repeat everything correctly. Now we hear of the dispatch problem, that the calls that were coming from the school went into the Uvalde Police Department, but not sent to this police chief of the school district, Mr. Arredondo. 19 officers were inside of the school, and they assumed that it was not an actor-shooter situation, and now we hear that a child bled out. So how many people were shot that could have lived inside of the 2 classrooms? Lord have mercy. Are you serious? 1 child shot 1 time allegedly. So what do we say? As the coroner said, she could have lived? Because that's what's going to be real interesting. If we get a report from the coroner, reports that some of these people could have lived, but because they lied in a room for so long, they bled out. And that's common sense. The wound needs to be compressed until getting to the emergency room to get into surgery. And even if it's a matter of losing a limb, you still could have life in you and still live. If it's just a matter of losing a limb, who's to say? We're not going to know now, are we? 77 minutes, 78 minutes. That'll probably be the title of a movie. 78 minutes. 60 minutes an hour. An extra 16 to 18 minutes extra of nobody going into the room to save the children and the teachers. Because you all thought he was just barricaded up in there. Well, damn, somebody had to tell you. The doors are locked for a reason because there's teachers. So who the hell did you think was in there? Oh, he was in there having lunch by himself with an AR-15. Okay. A law firm is now representing 4 families of the decedents and conducting their own private investigation, this law firm, into the Uvalde massacre. And these people will 9 times out of 10 win the civil suits against the Uvalde School District Police Department / chief. So I hope your insurance companies are ready for the payout, because it's going to be a lot of money to pay out. If you want to join this conversation, give your opinion pertaining to my first story, pertaining to rapper Trouble being murdered inside of a woman's apartment down in Georgia, hit the link. And also, if you have commentary pertaining to a criminal investigation into the Uvalde Police Department, should there be one? Should there be accountability? Should there be an indictment against the officers and the school district's chief of police, Mr. Arredondo? Hit the link. This is an open chat if you like to give your personal opinion. The link is in the chat for those who want to engage in stimulating conversation pertaining to the subject matters in this live. Thank you for joining me. This is Everyday Shenanigans. I'm almost 1 hour in. Make it worth my while. 2 weeks is a long time not to give a briefing, Arredondo. What are you doing? You're too busy trying to be on the city council. For what? Baby, you got bigger fish to fry. You have bigger fish to fry than to be worried about city council. And the fact that you're not saying anything to the public, well, that's expected because you all dropped the ball. You gave out too many different versions in the beginning. And that was the start of your downfall. 19 people in a hallway. Make that make sense to me. So we're going to say what? Well, they were scattered about the school trying to get the other kids and teachers out of the other classrooms. Still don't make no sense. I don't care how you word it. You're still talking about people who are in a room alive. Child gave commentary that her friend got shot again because she was talking. Teacher got shot because she was talking. Right up until they breached the door and opened the door. You all are looking for keys and all of this crazy nonsense. Oh, Lord, I'll be so glad when they get done working. This is bad. Bad business. Hello, Miss Kramer. How are you? I don't think they're answering to anybody. They're not going to answer to anybody. You can't answer to something if you're not speaking. Because my understanding is the state hasn't had any positive feedback from Arredondo. He says, yes, I have been talking to them. But see, that's the point about a conversation. One, we can't hear the conversation because it's private. Two, we don't know what they're asking him. And three, we don't know what his response is. So whatever his response is may not be conducive to what they're questioning him about. So therefore, their commentary is, he ain't giving us what we want to know. And he's saying, oh, I'm giving them what I want to tell them. And see, that's a difference. That's the thing about a conversation. I tell you what I want you to know. I'm going to tell you what you want to hear. And Arredondo is obviously not telling them what they want to hear. Because he can't explain logically why they didn't breach the door. Why you assume that everybody was dead in the room. And why you didn't get the phone calls that people were inside of the room calling the dispatch, the police department. But that's where the calls are supposed to go, as the police department. Isn't that the purpose of a police department, is to get the damn phone calls? So now we're going to start arguing over the dispatch and the calls coming in. This is ridiculous. Oh, I didn't get the phone calls. Well, where else were they supposed to go? I thought that was the purpose of 911, is I called the police department in the city I'm in. Hey, 911, I'm having a problem. Hey, 911, I'm having a problem. So now we got to sit and wait. How many people called the Uvalde Police Department, and none of the calls made it to the chief of the school district. Let me make sure I say that correctly, because obviously they've got a chief of police and a district school chief. So nobody called the chief while he was there on the scene to say, hey, you got some phone calls. There's children and teachers alive in the room. Or one teacher's alive with some students. They are alive. Well, I don't hear nobody shooting. So now you all going to resort to saying, I didn't hear anybody shooting, so therefore there was no threat. So my thing is, if you felt like that, hell, y'all should have just went home. You just going to leave the people in the room, dead or alive, don't even care. So when were you going to go in there? It took an hour to look for a key. It took an hour to come up with the key. It took an hour to form a plan to go into the room with a key. I don't know what to say. No smoke bombs, no nothing. To try to get the hostage, the shooter out. That's why I was saying. Did you all ever talk to the shooter through the door? How many are alive in there, sir? What can we do for you, sir? How can we alleviate this situation, sir? Are there dead people in the room, sir? Are there live victims, sir? Can you please come out, sir? Put your hands up. How about that? You do not come out, sir. In 5 seconds, 6 seconds, whatever. We will breach the door. We will come in, sir. How did it go? Because now I'm starting to wonder if you all said anything to him. So now you have to ask the children, since they're the only ones telling the damn truth. Baby, did the police talk to the shooter while y'all was in that room? Or y'all just laid in there, wondering when you was going to come out of there, and they standing out there in the hallway, I guess eating hostess cakes. I don't know what the hell they were doing. Because you want me to believe for an hour and 17 minutes, you all are just running around the school, just getting the kids and teachers out of the other rooms where there was no threat, and leaving this man with an AR-15 in a room with little bitty kids and a teacher, 2 teachers. Yeah, they obviously were scared. They've already admitted that they were. But how's that helping the kids? They're frightened. And it doesn't matter if you're a child, if you're an adult. You want out of that room where the killer is. Nobody wants to be still standing in a room or laying in a room with somebody standing there with a damn AR-15. And you just watch him shoot people in the room. And you're in the room with him still. And there ain't no telling what the hell he was saying and mumbling to himself. And the only thing you can think of is, Lord, please get me out of here. He's going to kill us all. And somewhere in his sick mind, he probably thought he did shoot everybody until they started mumbling and reaching for phones and calling. And now he's looking like, oh, hell no. You getting ready to die. I thought I just shot you. So now they shoot the kids again. And you sitting out there outside the door doing nothing. And now don't nobody want to talk. Oh, I plead the fifth. Well, tell that to the little dead kids. And the 2 teachers that's dead. Go plead the fifth with them. See what you can talk to them about. Well, you can't talk to them because they're dead. Are schools safe? Hell no. How's school going to be safe if you don't even have the machine standing at the door for you to go in to buzz if you have a metal or a weapon? Just let your children go into school. Let the children come in the schoolhouse. All the doors open on every end of the building. Anybody can sneak into school. You don't got no security at the doors. You ain't got nobody checking bags. And you ain't got the machines to check for weapons. Hell no, the schools ain't safe. These kids are walking around with drugs on them in school, guns, everything, because you don't have adequate security in your damn schools. And when you have a lot of doors, different buildings, you're going to have a problem. Especially if you have alternative schools on the property and the kids can just walk in the door of the little trailers. That's a problem. Because you don't even know if they got a weapon. Now, little Johnny, you put your bag up here. Let me see what's in your bag. How's that going to work? Teacher open the bag, or he'd say, no, I want you looking at my bag. So now they're wrestling over a damn bag that's possibly got a damn loaded gun in it. Man, y'all got to do better than this. You're going to have to do better than this. Because people are angry, vengeful, spiteful, miserable, depressed, suicidal, homicidal. And they're taking their personal problems out on random people. And we'll be talking about this for years to come, day for day, because there'll be somebody else crazy that'll go get a gun and shoot somebody else. Nowhere is safe. You don't know people. And you got to start paying attention to people that rant and rave on social media. Hate groups. They shouldn't even be allowed. How you going to have a hate group on social media? But as you all love clocking people on Facebook about their Facebook posts, playing music in the background in the lives, why do you let the groups exist on Facebook where they're spewing hate and venom against different races? How's that right? So Facebook, you still ain't on board either. Meta or whoever you are. And you ain't on board either. Streaming a person is streaming on a book, on the live book, while shooting people at the grocery store. Oh, we stopped it after we saw him shooting. Oh, okay. But you can't explain why he was in a hate group. Why the group was even open on a Facebook page. Why the group is open. Whether he's streaming or not. The damn page shouldn't exist. How about that? Since you all say you have people watching Facebook pages, Facebook groups, obviously you weren't watching Tough Enough. Oh, the account's been suspended. Too late for that. Now we got 10 folks dead up there in New York. Don't matter now. I'm over all of this. Listen at what the Queen is saying to you. I'm so tired of these stories of the shootings, people shooting each other, killing each other, people mad at somebody because they don't want them no more. They broke up with them. They divorced them. They moved on, remarried. Children mad at their parents. Parents mad at the children. Parents killing their children, murdering the children, abusing the children. People abusing kids, sexually abusing children. I'm sick of it. Random people out here stalking people, breaking in houses, windows. You're not safe from nothing. You can't talk to people. You can't tell them nothing. Can't tell your business. Can't say you're going to take a trip. You can't do this. You come back. You won't even have water on in your house because they done stole everything out your damn house. Everything's gone. Can't say nothing. Can't talk about nothing. Nothing is safe. Can't be friends with people. You can't do favors for people. You can't be nice to people. You can't invite people over. You can't date people. Can't do nothing but just exist. As I tell people, chew on cardboard paper. That's about it. But you can't do nothing out here. Kindness means nothing. See, what that little boy didn't understand, he hadn't even lived in the world long enough to be crying about he got problems. And as I said, I'm not knocking nothing that little boy went through in life because I didn't know him. But one thing I do know is he's not the only one in the world that has had a hard life. Maybe his mother was mean to him growing up. She mistreated him. She put him in the wrong element. She probably did. But you don't have a right to go out here and kill everybody because your mama wasn't good to you. Your mama didn't give you what you wanted. You didn't like your grandmama or whoever the hell was raising you. You ain't the first one to be somewhere where somebody didn't like you. And that means your own damn parents. Everybody don't have great parents, great family. But you just don't go out here and murder people because you didn't have a good life. You didn't get the life you wanted. You could have made a good life for yourself by finishing school and getting an education and working. You took the coward's way out by going up in that school, killing babies. So you killed what was innocent. That's what you did. You knew they had a start. That's why you went in that schoolhouse. Queen woke. But you don't know what those kids were going through. I tell people that all the time. Stay woke. There might have been some troubled children in them rooms that you snuffed out. Teachers may have had some personal problems, but it wasn't your job to steal their lives. You were wrong for that. And his parents and grandparents should have been on his butt, because he wouldn't have stayed in my house and not been going to school. And I blame any adult that allowed a child to stay up in their house, goofing off, running in and out their door, and not go to school. You are part of the problem too. Because all that time he going to work, he was saving his money to buy fucking artillery instead of buying him some damn shoes and clothes, teenage stuff. He up here buying damn rifles and guns. And you want me to believe you didn't know that something was wrong with this boy? You didn't look at him and see he was too quiet. He didn't talk. He didn't engage. You didn't go to him and say, hey, we need to have a talk with you. I don't know what's going on with you, but it ain't getting ready to go on in this address. You're not going to school. You can't stay here. That's how you do that. You're not enrolled in school. Oh, but you got a job. Well, then you need to go out to the street and get you somewhere to sleep. Get you an apartment. But you're not staying in this house without no damn schooling. Nobody cared enough to tell him, because he wouldn't have been in my house without being enrolled in school. You cannot turn a blind eye on the children. You can't rear kids and just say, well, he won't listen. She won't listen. I've tried everything I can. Did you? I don't know, because I don't know you. I don't know what you did and didn't do. But I know that's one problem we have in this country. People being lax with their children in the child rearing business. You allow your children to run amok, talk crazy to you, talk back to you, call you everything but the child of God, put their hands on you, bring every Tom, Dick, and Harry in your house, laying, eating up everything, running water, lights, and I don't know what to do with them. I know what you can do with them. You can tell them you can't stay here. This ain't a flop house, trap house. You can't stay here. Sorry. Your child start getting in trouble. Let him or her know who's the boss. A son, a daughter. I love you, but it can't go on in this house. See, that's showing love. Tough love, as they used to say. You see, you can't be friends with your children. And a lot of you like to be friends with your kids. That's why the children are wayward now. Walking around, puff, 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 passing with their own damn parents. I don't condone that either. I can really go off today in this live if I really want to, just get real ignorant. I don't like that. Passing a blunt with your child. Some of you doing it and the kids still underage. I remember years ago, before I even knew what YouTube was, a story went viral and made it to the news, and it went viral on YouTube. Little black baby passing a blunt with older children. I thought, what the hell is this? So then when the police or whoever go to the mama, DHS, I believe it was the grandmama's house, or some said, oh, I was back in the bedroom asleep. Something like that. Yeah, I bet you was asleep. But how many other times was you asleep and the baby smelling like marijuana? What the hell does a toddler look like passing a fucking blunt with some teenagers? And they were filming it, these little dusty ass kids. Filming a toddler smoking a blunt. And I'm telling you, that toddler smoked that blunt like a connoisseur. I was stunned. But that's what's wrong with America. Right there. Nobody taking accountability. Older children wayward, passing a blunt to a toddler, mama, grandmama, whoever in the back room sleep. I can't remember if it was the grandmama or the mama. Her excuse was she was asleep. I don't care nothing about that, because I got a feeling you've been watching that little boy smoke weed, because more than likely you smoke too. Because what the hell you doing letting some grown folks, teenagers, sit up in your damn house smoking blunts without you smoking a damn blunt? Because think about that. I'm a mama and I don't smoke. Well, what the hell would I look like letting other people stay in my house and smoke marijuana and I don't damn smoke? No. You were smoking too. I don't care if you was asleep, not sleep. I feel like this. I wasn't there, so I don't know if you was asleep or not. But what I'm trying to make a point is this is what's wrong with the world right here. Waywardness. Nobody is making their children stand account. The parents aren't accountable, so the children aren't going to be accountable. This is why we have wayward adults, because they lived in wayward houses 9 times out of 10. So then they grow up to be wayward, doing everything, robbing, stealing, stick up man, stick up lady, breaking the law, doing all kind of stuff because somebody showed them the way, paved the way. But then flip side is, could have had great life, great parents. And the kids just want to be wayward. There's just no guarantee because children have their own identities. But I got a problem with people who are not paying attention to their damn children. You got to watch your kids. You have to be accountable for your children. You need to know where they are. You need to know what they're doing. And I'm not saying the kids can't get into stuff when you're not around at the house, or they go into school, or they go hang out with their friends at the mall. Hell yeah, they can get into trouble. They're kids. But when you see signs that your children are acting out and not doing what they need to do to be productive, the fault falls on you. Because you should be watching your kids when they're in your periphery to say, okay, you know what? I think Bobby's got a problem. He don't talk. She don't talk. They're not eating properly. They're always upset, depressed, slamming doors. You know, whatever the situation is, be about it. Don't sit up later and cry to the news. My son is not a monster. Yes, he is. Stupid ass mama. Yes, your son is a monster. He's dead. He's a dead monster. How about that? You're probably the reason why he was out there killing them kids in that school anyway with your dizzy ass. You're a dizzy ass chick. Sitting there talking about your child ain't a monster. He just killed 20-something folks. What the hell are you talking about? And more than likely, you are the reason he's been walking around here mad at the world for 18 years because whatever the hell you subjected your boy child to. But he still knew better than to go in that schoolhouse and kill them people, shoot his grandmama. But you all dropped the ball with your son. And then he went out to the schoolhouse and killed those folks. And now the police department is just as guilty as you are. So we want to blame somebody. Hell yeah, we'll line them up. We're going to blame everybody. Stupid parents, stupid grandmamas, stupid police department. Stupid people watching Facebook groups, cackling and laughing at people, ranting and raving, talking about they're going to kill people and don't call and don't say nothing. It's a whole lot of blame. Mental issues, whomever. But you can't sit by and act like you don't see what's going on. His family should have been on top of him. I can't expect strangers to, rear a child. Because most people just don't want to get involved in stuff. You just have to accept that. But his parents had every right to see about his mental state. And he should have got himself some help. Instead of saying, I'm going to stay bitter and angry, I'm going to go out here and kill these people, try to kill my grandmother, kill these babies in the schoolhouse, these teachers, because I'm angry at the world. The world hasn't been kind to me. They ain't been fair to me. So I'm going to take everybody out with me. That was his attitude. And he's not the only one walking around like that. I talk to people a lot, and I listen to the way a lot of people talk. And they're angry and bitter and mad. You can tell it in their conversation. Every day it's a problem. They mad at this person, got to complain about this, complain about that. And ain't nothing wrong with us complaining about stuff that need to be right. Because you can't get things done if you don't say, hey, I don't like this. Hey, you need to fix this. Hey, this is an issue. But some people are just bitter, and that's a difference. That's a difference when you're just bitter, you got a problem, can't nobody say nothing to you, you mad. Can't nobody ask you a question, you mad. Can't nobody tell you a story about something bad happened. Well, I don't know, ain't my problem. You know, I know somebody like that personally. That's why I quit talking to the person, because every time you say something to them, oh, it's not my problem. I don't care nothing about what happened over there. It don't concern me. It don't concern my children. Wow, that's your attitude? You don't care about nobody but your kids. You don't care about nobody but your wife. You don't care about this and that. You don't care about them. How about that? But I look at the way you carry yourself. You don't care about yourself. Because you're still out here in the streets acting like you're 20. Acting like you're 20. So you don't care about your family. Because you don't care about yourself. Because you see, self is number one. Before children, girlfriend, boyfriend, husband, donkey, cat, monkey, whatever. Self is number one. And when you don't value you, you don't care about you. You don't care about how you look, how you carry yourself, the venom you spew, what you put out in the element. How in the hell you gonna say you care about your wife, your sister, your brother, your husband, your boyfriend, your baby daddy, your kids, your dog, your cat? No, you don't. How can you not have empathy? And somebody out there needs to hear this. Because I told myself, if I get crunk enough, I'm going to start dropping names on these lives and don't care who gets offended. A lot of you are just as jacked up as that Ramos kid was. Because you're angry every damn day. You disgusted, mad about something. And you tell it in your walk and your talk. You don't never got nothing good to say. You don't never got no encouragement for nobody. You're mad all the time. Can't nobody say, as I said, 2 words to you, you crunk. As Cat Williams would say, banging on bacon. You damn right. Utterly disgusted. He ain't nothing. She ain't nothing. They ain't this. They ain't that. Well, what you about? How about that? What are you about? Because everybody else jacked up. You ain't jacked up, but everybody else is jacked up. See, this is a lesson learned. What happened in that schoolhouse. And all this other senseless violence that's going on in America right now. Folks mad at the world and going buying guns to shoot and kill people. The woman killed at the Amazon factory down in Mississippi. Some dude don't understand she don't want to be bothered no more. They dated. It didn't work out. So now you go killing her job in the parking lot. Killing this rapper down in Atlanta. He visited somebody and you go break in her house and shoot him. You don't shoot her, but you shoot him. Shooting folks in the grocery store. Shooting the people at the church in California. Somebody mad because they back hurt. Had surgery. Well, let me go kill the doctor. Kill everybody in the waiting room. The hell is wrong with you people? You all don't know how to cope. There are days I get frustrated too. I don't like phone tagging. How about that? I tell people that all the time. I don't want to look at an email. I don't want to look at a text message. I don't want to go on a website to put nothing in. I don't like doing none of that because it's time consuming. And I tell people that all the time. You all have gotten addicted to the computer and put everything on a website. You got to dispute something, fight something, rebate this. Oh, go to the website. Well, guess what? If somebody is sitting here working a full-time job, They can't sit on a website typing in stuff. Then they got to go over here and check an email and return something and show copies of this. Then go over here and respond in a text message and return this, hit this. Hey, enough. And all these people out here need jobs. Why you don't hire somebody to answer the phone for somebody to call and say, hey, I bought this product. It's not working. Here's the receipt number, such and such code. Boom, we done. Now, first thing you get, you can go to our website and log on to blah, 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 blah. Hell, I don't want to log on to your damn website. How about that? Yeah, I'm on one today. To show you, anybody can just get mad and get angry about something. But I ain't about to go out here and shoot nobody just because everything you got to do is on a computer now. How about that? I don't like messing with a computer and a cell phone and websites. But I ain't going to go out here and get a gun and go shoot nobody. That's the point I'm trying to make. That is always something we can be frustrated about. But do you go kill people because you're frustrated? I can tell you now, I can do without all this modern technology. I don't care for it. I don't care for none of it. I'm old school. I was born in 71. I don't care. I'm sick of cell phones. I'm sick of Wi-Fi this, email this, check this, please. Check this, check your text box, check your this box, check your inbox. That's all you hear all day. Check, 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 check. But like I said, despite it all, I ain't going to go out here and shoot nobody. You all are going to have to wake up and realize that a lot of people have personal problems, issues, situations, and they don't go out here and resort to violence because things aren't going their way. You had to stand in the line too long at the store. Somebody's taking too long with all their things. They need a return or refund. The machine ain't working to run your debit card, credit card, whatever the situation is. You don't go get a gun because you're angry at whatever the hell is going on with you. And that's just the bottom line. I'm a carefree type person. I don't like being tied down to nothing. I don't like being, fumbling with stuff. I was once told I had a mechanical mind, but as I get older, I don't care to deal with a lot of stuff. And that's expected as you age, that what you fumble with at 25, 35, you're not going to want to do when you're 45, 50. That's just the way it goes. So that's how I feel about, modern day technology. It's good to some degree. It has its good purposes, of course. But then there comes a point when it becomes old and redundant. It just becomes old and redundant. And we're living in a world where everything now is by a computer and a machine, that people care more about the machine and the computer than an actual human being. Well, the website says, the computer says, but that's not real. It's not a person. Because in the end, a person has to check all that said information that you put in. See, that's the gist of this whole story. When people say, go put that in on the website. Go type this into the website. Apply for this at the website. In the end, there's still a human being behind the website that has to verify the said information to validate whatever you're doing. So therefore, why couldn't you have that same person answer the damn cell phone or phone through a 1-800 number? We're going to pray for this world because right now we're in dire straits. This is bad to me. And I think I'm more baffled today reading you the information pertaining to the rapper Trouble, because I was just saying to myself, probably was last night and today when I was playing my music while I was cleaning up, and he was rapping on a song. I didn't even know his name. And the first thing I said to myself, I really like his voice. And who knew? That voice is now dead. Snuffed out by somebody who they say didn't even know him. It's terrible. Nice looking young man. He's a handsome black man. Gone. Because he was in the wrong place at the wrong time. And the thing about that type of situation is that no matter who was in that woman's apartment, they were going to get the same fate. It just so happened to be Mr. Orr. Same thing with the children out in Uvalde. It didn't matter who showed up for school that day, didn't show up. That was the day that the Reaper walked into the room. Should there be an investigation into the deaths of the teachers and children in that classroom, plural? Should the police department, the police chief of the school district and his officers be held accountable for not going into the classroom immediately? Should they be fired and then also brought up on an indictment charge for gross negligence of the deaths of the children and the teachers? T, do you have anything you want to say, honey, before I check out of here? T says yes. Mandy says yes. Okay. Well, as you know, the Justice Department is investigating, but it is not criminal. The state's safety office is also investigating, and they're saying Mr. Arredondo is not conforming. Cherie says yes too. I say yes as well. I think that they all should be fired from their jobs, and I do believe that the district attorney for Uvalde or county district attorney should bring forth criminal charges against the school district chief, which is Mr. Arredondo, and also the officers who were called to the school and lied outside and wait. I think they all should go down. That's just my personal opinion. And I understand you have to listen to what to the beginning. You got to give your opinion about the school. This information is the same information that's been circulating for a whole week and a half, T. If you'd like to give your opinion pertaining to the investigation of the shooting, you can hit the link to give your opinion pertaining to what happened in Uvalde. Why can't you give your input? You confusing me. Junebug says yes. Why not? Why you can't give your opinion on this subject matter? I'm confused. Enlighten me. The link is in the chat. Y'all kill me acting shy all of a sudden. What in the world is going on? Just a second here. Hope you all are well out there. Oh, man. I'm going to start turning my phone off. That way I don't have to hear any bad news. Oh, she already done hit it. Good grief. Hello?
Oh, sorry about that. I was mistaken. I got confused myself.
About what?
When I'm like, well, I can't give my input about the rapper that got killed because I came in late, but I
Well,
can't
okay,
give
but
my
you can give
input.
about Uvalde. Yeah, well, I'm gonna recap you. He was in a woman's apartment. Allegedly, the person who broke into an apartment knew her but didn't know trouble. So he shot him in the chest and he died there. That's the gist of the story.
Oh, okay. Just died due to ignorance, basically.
Yeah, wrong place, wrong time.
Yeah.
Now I don't know what was going on with him and the woman, but they're saying that they were just friends, and this guy had a domestic dispute with her. So maybe she dated him, used to date him. I don't know. They haven't really given no. There's no update yet that I know of pertaining to what the two had going on, but the suspect and the girl. But I find it strange you would shoot him and not her.
Right.
I mean, she's the one you got the problems with. So my thing is, it wouldn't matter who was sitting in there. You must thought something was going on, so you broke in there. But what you have to ask yourself is the ultimate question. Why did you break in there on that day? You broke into somebody's house in the wee hours. Think about what I'm saying now.
To do what?
I believe the commentary said 3:20 in the morning, if I'm not mistaken. So ask yourself, people going to think the worst. Well, what are they doing at 3 in the morning? Come on now. Okay.
Right.
Grown folks, like I said, it don't matter. So how do you know she had somebody in there to kick her door in? Or did you know somebody was in there? And that
right,
was your
as if he was stalking and shit.
Stop. Exactly. Could be. But I would hate to find out it's the worst case scenario that you done told him he was in there.
To make him jealous.
Anything. Or the worst, set him up. I don't know, because I don't know her.
Yeah.
Uvalde, go ahead.
Yes, I do believe the police department does need to be investigated,
Yeah.
and they do need to be fired, not retired. They don't get their pension or any benefits.
Mhm.
They're just done, and they cannot be hired in at any other police department.
Okay.
Because the teachers and the students did not have vests or guns, and they were left in there.
Yeah.
You take an oath to protect the citizens, not just to protect yourself because you're scared. Okay. What about the kids and the teachers? They were scared. They were calling.
They had to be petrified in there.
Yes. I mean, students literally put their classmates' blood on them.
You missed what I said. You missed where the commentary I brought that says the calls went through to the police department, but they didn't make it to Arredondo, which is the school district's chief. So obviously there's two different chiefs, obviously. So what I'm trying to understand is why were the calls not being sent to him to say, hey, there are live people in the room?
Well, okay. Why would this dude just continue to shoot if there's no police officers?
That's what I'm saying. This is how they're laying it out. He met the two outside in the hall, I guess, or near the door, shot them. They called for backup. He's already gone in the room and then shut the door and shot however many, right? And then stops. So at some point, I guess they're telling the chief, well, we don't hear no more gunfire, so they're all dead in there.
Wow.
So that's your hour to 16, 17 minutes wait. We don't hear no more gunfire. So basically what they're trying to say is we assume he just was barricaded. But that still makes no sense because you still had to have known there were children in the room because all you had to do was go ask another teacher or the principal, hey, are there children or teachers in this room and the adjoining room? They would have said yes.
Right.
So you had officers getting people out of the other rooms, right? Other classrooms. So you knew that they didn't have no threat because you're able to get them out of their rooms. What in the hell made you think that there wasn't somebody in the room to two rooms bleeding out? Because now we got information. One of the children was hit once. So she bled out. So she could have lived. How are we going to know? So now you ask the other question. How many people were shot that could have survived either with a missing limb or you understand where I'm going?
Yes.
So now you have to wait to see if the coroner's ever going to say, this is how many people could have lived. But they lied in there for an hour to 20 minutes. They bled out.
Yeah.
So that's the gist of that with why they didn't go back in allegedly. We didn't think there was a threat.
How, and again, it still goes back. There is a shooter in a school. How would you not think there's a threat? Regardless, if you have not if you guys wasn't hearing any more gunshots, there is still a shooter. That means that shooter could have actually been walking around the school looking for more students.
Yeah. Well, they know that he's in the room, though. This is what they're saying. We know he's locked in the room and he's barricaded. So that's their thought process. He's barricaded. He's killed everybody in the rooms. So they assumed everybody was dead in the room.
Mm-hmm. They just banked on, well, maybe he offed himself.
Well, how you gonna know until you open the door?
Right. How you gonna know he's still barricaded? They were chicken shits. They stayed outside.
That's what it was. They were scared. Yeah.
I mean, I'm sorry for cussing on your panel, but it irritates me because, again, they are law enforcement. Do your job. Protect the people. It shouldn't have been an off-duty dude to go in and do their job.
Yeah. It's very scary.
Yes, parents were saying, just give me your gun, give me your vest, I'll go in. Those words should not have been coming out of those parents' mouths. They should not have been getting handcuffed. They were already worrying about their kids, and this is what they're telling officers. Please let me have your weapon. Let me just go do it if you don't want to do it.
And we already know that the teachers, these outside people don't need to be in there because that would have made it worse. People just running around. You don't understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Trying to get hurt. They probably would have got shot too.
And I get that. Yeah. But they shouldn't have to say
because you don't know what you're running. Because you don't know what you're running into inside of a building.
Right. I think that's what really just hurts my feelings because they were children. They were teachers.
Have you heard the account of one of the children? Have you heard the account of the little girl that's telling you what happened in the room?
No. Here. Which one?
I got it. Hold on a minute. Hold on 1 second, baby. 1 second. I'm going to play you what she said. Fox 26 is the source, everybody. This is one girl's account of what happened in that room. Thank you for joining me. This is Everyday Shenanigans.
Visitation and funeral services continuing.
This is uploaded 5 days ago.
Texas for the victims of last week's shooting at Robb Elementary. Today, fourth graders Josue Flores and teacher Irma Garcia will be laid to rest, as well as Irma's husband, who died of a heart attack 2 days after she was killed in the attack. This all coming as police release some new information from the investigation. Meanwhile, the school district's police chief, who told dozens of responding officers to stand down while the gunman was still inside the school and 911 calls were still coming in from the classroom, well, he denies claims that he's not cooperating with Texas DPS investigators, telling CNN he has been in contact with the agency every day since the tragedy happened. As questions continue to mount about the response, Fox's Joy Addison spoke exclusively to a student who was inside and tells us she was one of those repeatedly calling 911, begging for help as the shooting was still going on. Joy, what a brave child.
Hi, Caitlin. Yeah, she is absolutely brave. And currently in the city of Uvalde, they are under a state of disaster. Governor Greg Abbott has asked for a look into the safety of Texas public schools. And we're not sure exactly what happened inside of those two classrooms in the school just behind me. But Chloe Torres tells us what she remembers.
Scared. That was my last identity, so I was up there.
10-year-old Chloe Torres says the horrific shootings started after they came inside from recess, and her teacher, Irma Garcia, had turned on a movie.
Miss Garcia, my teacher, she told us we were going to go and click one down. So my friend, he got up and he turned off the TV because that's what we had to do. And right when she went out to find the key and lock the door from the outside, we heard gunshots.
She says as her
Oh, Lordy. Hold on one second. That jumped off of there. Sorry about that. Wait 1 second, T. I don't know why that jumped off. That's strange. Very scary. Well, that's very weird. That jumped off. Hold on 1 second. I have to pull it back up. See? Modern technology.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's I was like, why did that jump off like that? That's really weird.
Thank you, Gabby. Visitation and
Hold on.
funeral
We'll go
service.
back to where she's talking.
While the gunman was to mount about the was repeatedly called a brave child.
Classrooms in the school just behind.
Okay, let her repeat it again.
Chloe Torres says the horrific shooting started after they came inside from recess, and her teacher, Irma Garcia, had turned on a movie.
Miss Garcia, my teacher, she told us we were going to go in a quick lockdown. So my friend, he got up and he turned off the TV because that's what we had to do. And right when she went out to find the key and lock the door from the outside, we heard gunshots.
She says as her teacher tried to close the door, the gunman grabbed it and forced his way in.
And she started guarding us. And my friend Amory, she started trying to call the police with her friend's phone. And when they did that, he started saying, you'll die.
Chloe says her teacher was pleading with the shooter as she guarded her and her classmates, but her teacher's pleas were not enough to stop the gunman.
He shot my friends and my teachers, and then after that, he said goodnight, and he started shooting everybody.
Chloe says he walked around the class shooting everyone in sight, and then he came to her.
He shot the girl next to me, and she said, I've been shot. And I didn't want to say anything because I didn't want him to come over and shoot me. So I said quiet, and he came back and shot her again because she wouldn't be quiet.
And then he went to the connected room next door and continued shooting. Chloe says when she heard him go back into the hallway, she ran in to see who was alive.
Really hard because you have to see a bunch of bodies around you, and it's really scary.
She says she called 911 several times, but she was told over and over that police were already on campus. By the time they came in the room over an hour later, both of her teachers and 19 of her classmates were dead. Her dad says he was getting the wrong information and did not know an active shooter was on campus.
I heard it from a coworker of mine telling me that it was a high-speed chase.
He says as the investigations play out, he's focused on Chloe's healing from this traumatic day.
It's going to be a long road, this will never go away for her,
This morning, Chloe attended the funeral of her teacher, Mrs. Garcia. She says she also plans to attend the funerals of her co-teacher and her 19 other classmates that were killed in that shooting. And this morning, the superintendent said that what is currently Robb Elementary School, students and teachers will no longer return to. But Chloe's mother says in the fall, she will be homeschooled. In Uvalde, Texas, Joy Addison, Fox 26 News.
Okay, so let me interject right here. Did you hear what she said? When he went into the other classroom, shot those people after leaving her classroom, he went into the hallway. So this is where there's still a discrepancy. I thought they confronted him initially when he got in the building. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that means he was already in the classroom when they got there, the police.
Right.
Okay? So that means he already shot classroom 1, classroom 2, then goes out into the hallway, possibly getting ready to leave, and didn't know that officers were out there. Listen, okay? And that's when they engaged in a shootout after he's already shot the classroom. I thought perhaps he had engaged in gunfire before getting into the classroom.
And then ran into the classroom.
Right. But now the child is saying, no, he was already in here, shot classroom 1, classroom 2. I heard him leave, go into the hallway. I get up to go see who's alive or dead, which was dangerous for her to do to get up. But then he returns back in, obviously after engaging in gunfire with them in the hall, and then he stays back in the room and he don't shoot nobody else.
Right.
So they don't hear no more gunfire. So is that the version now?
And did you hear what she said at the beginning? That the teacher was going to go lock the door because they was on a soft lockdown? Did you
Well,
catch that?
I thought she was saying they were locking down because she heard the gunshots at first.
No. She said that they were on the teacher told them we're on a soft lockdown. She went outside, the teacher did, to lock her door with the key. And one of the students, her friend, turned off the TV. Yeah.
Yeah, but she did say in the beginning they did hear gunshots. That's what made her go lock the doors.
Yeah, and then they heard gunshots, and then he came and grabbed that door. So they're not the story's not adding up. There's something going on, and I feel like the police department is just trying to cover their asses. And that little girl right there put it out there that he went into the hallway.
Well, and she's also the same one saying about the phone calls. Numerous calls were made.
Yeah, and they kept telling her the police was there
already, right, in the building.
Yeah, and she's a victim. She has to deal with this mentally.
Yeah, because he got somebody. This is what's weird to me about that. What the story she spun. He's sitting there looking at her when he shot the girl next to her, but he didn't shoot her. Why not? And then leaves and goes back, do whatever. She's talking, he can hear her. So then he comes back and then shoots the child again next to her.
Yeah, because she said the girl would not.
Right,
stop.
yeah, I know. But that's what I'm saying. That's the reason why the last teacher got shot. But see, then the thing that's conflicting about that version, that child just now said, I thought she said the teachers were shot. Right?
Mm-hmm.
But another version was one of the teachers didn't get killed until right before they breached the door because she was talking to the cops through the door. And he got mad and shot her. Yeah. Because I brought that commentary about a week ago. That the teacher, the police were asking, I guess, questions. Who's alive? Who's dead? She spoke up, and then he went over to the teacher and shot her. And then that's when they breached the door and opened the door and started shooting the shooter.
Now, if the cops asked who's alive, who's dead, then how can they turn around and say, well, we thought everybody was dead?
I just thought about that too. I'll be damned. Lord, I'm dead. Right. I played commentary of that version last week. Because I believe a law official gave that version. One of my news sources I brought.
Mm-hmm. They're covering their asses.
I think what happened was they got to the school, and whichever way it went, as far as when the shooter met them in the hall or whichsoever at the door, they got scared once they got shot, and they held off when the other ones came, the 19, however many, 15, 16, whatever number you want to go with. They got scared, and he was the one who was calling the shots, and he held everybody back to not breach the room. Because now the child is telling she locked the door from outside too.
Mm-hmm.
But he grabbed the door
and went to that
classroom. So that means he shut the door, and all the doors were locked. The shooter. So that's why they couldn't get in the rooms, allegedly.
In which, like you said on one of your lives, they bust open doors in homes. Why can't they just bust open the door?
All the time. Hotel rooms, school rooms, businesses, doors are broken into every day for raids and hostage situations. So this makes no sense.
Mm-mm.
And if you thought it was a hostage situation or whatever you thought, even if you thought everybody was dead, you could have broke out a window and either use a sharpshooter to shoot them or throw a cocktail in there.
Mm-hmm.
But then that would have been just as dangerous too, because you still have people who are alive in the room. And you would have had to get the shooter down first before taking the other people out of the room to get them to safety.
Right. That decision of just falling back and waiting should not have never happened. They never had their eyes on the shooter.
Yeah.
to make that decision.
And when you look at the building, you can see that there are windows in the building. This is a one-level school from what I'm seeing. So now you got to make me understand why you didn't use a sharpshooter to kill him from the window.
Why didn't y'all come from a different angle?
Yeah. The window would have been your best angle because you could see where he is.
Yep.
Because I don't know what the door looks like on the inside of the school. I don't know if it's a solid door or it's a door that has a window cut out in it. You see where I'm going?
Mm-hmm.
And naturally, it'd be dangerous to go up to that window because he could shoot your face off. So that leaves your school window to the classroom. Why didn't you not look through that window to assess where the shooter was in the room?
It's
And on the dispatch calls, what did they ask the children? Where are you in the room? Where's the shooter in the room? Come on now.
Mm-hmm. There's really no excuse of not going in.
Yeah, I know.
There's no excuse.
There's no excuse. You're right.
Like I said, the kids and the teachers had no weapons.
Yeah.
And
well,
they were
you can't fight off nobody. A woman, and you're scared. And he's sitting there with an AR-15. You wasn't gonna try to wrestle with nobody with no big old gun like that.
No, they had their minds on protecting their students because they might not be their kids, but they're their babies. Teachers think that way. I have to protect my babies, so they have to protect their students. One got shot just for talking to him and telling him not to do anything to him.
Well, that's obvious what was wrong anyway with him. He don't want you saying nothing to him because he knows why he's there. He's there to kill you, so he doesn't want to hear you talking. That's why he killed the little girl, went back and shot her again because she was talking on the phone. And I still find it strange he didn't shoot this child who's talking. Don't you find that strange?
Yeah, it's like I don't know why he didn't shoot her.
Yeah, because
I'm glad he didn't.
But yeah, I'm glad he didn't. But I just think it's weird that he comes in, sprays the room. They think he's in there by himself with dead people. And then he hears a child talking, so he goes back and shoot her again. But there's a girl beside her. I don't know if she was laying beside her or sitting upward. And he don't even shoot her. It's just very odd to me. It's very that this whole storyline is odd.
And I don't.
Why shoot some and don't shoot all? It's just weird to me. Considering he's telling everybody good night, and they said he's going around the room shooting everybody.
True, and like you said, he's not shooting them all.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Very odd.
So now it makes me wonder, the ones that he didn't shoot, was it because for real they were being quiet?
I don't know. Because that's the information I brought about the teacher. That one teacher allegedly was alive. But he shot her because she was talking, allegedly to the police through the door.
See,
I am utterly confused.
Yeah, it's very confusing.
Because you're not going to really know. Because the only version that you can trust right now is any of the children that were alive to say how it all started. She said they came in from recess.
Mm-hmm.
They heard gunshots. So she's trying to lock the door. And then he grabs the door and makes his way in. But see, that goes to show you nobody locked their classrooms. Because it seemed like to me, if I locked my room from inside, I wouldn't need to lock it from outside.
I don't.
He doesn't have a key, so how's he going to get in?
Right. I don't know why they're locking it from the outside.
Yeah, that sounds strange to me. And the child said that's what she said. She went out to try to lock it from the outside.
Yeah.
But that's
he grabbed the door.
If I can lock it from the inside, it won't matter about the outside lock.
Right.
That's very interesting information. So by the time she's up there holding the door, trying to lock it from the outside, he's already at the door, grabbing the door from her.
Right. Because she tried to hurry up, get back in. He grabs the door.
I think I would have been just locking the first lock inside. You understand what I'm saying? That just sounds strange to me. I've never heard of anything like that before. Somebody trying to lock the house. You would only do that if you knew a person had a key to the door.
So I'm guessing the teachers must have keys. I don't understand that either. As far as the adjoining classrooms, I wonder if it was like that with every class, and if the students could have went like to another one. Does that make sense?
And out another door.
Yeah.
Possibly. But when you're scared, you ain't getting up.
No.
That's why I was stunned when the little girl said she got up. She said, I went up to the other room when I heard him go in the hallway. Man, I'm serious. I'm stunned she even said she got up because I wouldn't have got up.
She might have gotten up to see if he really left.
Lucky to be alive.
Yeah, she really is.
Because you're dealing with somebody whose mind's unstable and he's shooting this one, but ain't shooting this one. Then if he's seen you talking, he shot you again. It's just strange. But that's the whole point. You're dealing with a jacked up mindset.
Right. And see, she didn't mention about the second teacher being alive either.
No, she said he shot both teachers.
Yeah. So
that's why I said it's contradictory to what I brought last week, that one teacher was alive up until the door being breached. So what is the truth? Was a teacher alive before they opened the door or not? Because now that makes me think, did the child get that information wrong? And that's what made them breach the door because they heard that last gunshot.
It makes me think that he was shot in the hallway. They literally waited for this dude to completely come out of the classroom.
Well, why is he going to come out?
Hour, he probably walked out. Huh?
Why would he come out?
Well, the police is not there. They're standing outside. He, like you said, he might have thought that, okay, and came out the classroom, because how did the one man who shot him, how did he get to him if he's barricaded and not get shot?
Because maybe it's true for what the little girl said. He shot everybody in the room. He opened up that second door, went out, and that's when they shot him, and then shot at him, and he closed the door back. Because remember, they said they did engage with 2 officers, but then at one point they said they really couldn't confirm it. So that's the thing. Where in the hallway did they get shot? At the door, or he just came out shooting, shut the door again? What? But that's the story, is that 2 officers engaged in shooting with him. And I thought this was maybe before he shot the kids and the teachers. Now the child is saying he sprayed the room, reshot a kid, went in the next room, shot those people, then went out the door. But now we know if that happened that way, he had to come back in because allegedly he died in the classroom.
Then who unblocked the door?
They went and got a key from the janitor, remember?
Okay.
See, See, that's why he was in there a long time, because he died in the room allegedly. So that means he was in there with the kids. You just got to try to put together, at what point was he outside to engage in gunfire with the 2 officers? Or did he shoot through the door and shot them?
Right.
But she said she heard him go in the hallway, the little girl. I don't think she'd lie about that. So I think that's when he engaged in gunfire with them. He shot up the rooms, walked out, not thinking that law enforcement was outside, and probably got surprised when he walked out and saw them, unless he heard them talking. I don't know. See, we don't know. Because my thing is, wouldn't you be saying something to him if you know he's in the room? You understand what I'm saying?
You would think it.
Sir, we know you're in there. Sir, come out. So that makes me wonder, did he open the door deliberately to shoot at them?
But then they're having a conversation with the teacher.
That was near the hour and 18 minutes, 17 minutes. That's over an hour later when allegedly a teacher had a conversation with them outside the door. And them asking her, was she all right or who's dead or whatever, allegedly.
And then they would go back to, but yet y'all stayed outside because of what y'all thought.
Well,
like it's like it's contradicting.
There's some conflict, yeah, because the child is basically saying he shot the teacher. So was it possible that the teacher was shot but holding on to life an hour later when she was engaging in conversation? And maybe the child thought she was dead.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Because you can't see through to the other room to say if the lady's alive or dead. I don't guess. But the child said, I did go in the other room to see who was alive or dead.
Mm-hmm.
And then he obviously made his way back into that room from going to the door or halfway out the door.
Right.
So that means the child would have had to go run back to where she was or lay down in that second room.
Yeah. I need to also listen to what that little boy said. There was another student that came out and that has survived.
Yeah, I got that commentary too. You want to hear that one?
Yeah, let me hear that one.
Okay. Hold on. I also got one where they're speaking for the little girl. Let's see. Let me play this one right quick. Hold on.
In the midst of
It's
so
17
much
hours
tragedy,
I'm very sentimental.
we found a miracle.
She's in the hospital.
University Hospital in San Antonio.
All my grandkids, and I don't like for them to be suffering.
Jimmy and Tina Olivas are Kendall Olivas' grandparents.
Very brave little girl. She's tough.
Kendall survived the deadliest school shooting in Texas history.
Just glad that we're still out here with us. I don't know what I would do without her.
This brave 9-year-old girl is everything that's inspiring. Kendall, who loves dancing, Mexican bingo, and TikTok videos, remembers the moment the gunman stormed into her classroom.
Her seeing that, it's going to stay with her, forever, how she saw her teacher get shot. I mean, it just happened right in front of her.
Shot twice, once in the left shoulder and in her back, Kendall is alive and able to tell her parents what happened inside Robb Elementary. They are not able to speak publicly, but her grandparents are.
Well, I'm just happy, that they care for people. A lot of people care for her.
Kendall's story is not easy to listen to, but it's important to hear and understand the terror unleashed in her classroom. Prepare yourself to learn the horror she went through for more than an hour in her 4th grade class.
A lot of innocent kids, got hurt, passed away.
Kendall told her mother the gunman yelled out, "Y'all are done." She says she was the first student shot, and then teacher Irma Garcia was shot and landed on top of her. One by one, Kendall told her mother the gunman shot her friends. She heard each of them fall to the floor. Kendall's cousin is a classmate. He pulled Miss Garcia's body off of Kendall. Both Kendall and her cousin survived. The Olivas family is overcome with gratitude.
Thank you, God, for giving another chance.
After 5 surgeries in 10 days, Kendall faces a long road to recovery, both physically and mentally. Mrs. Olivas says Kendall's parents are faced with their own recovery.
He just cries, but has not really, let it all out. I mean, he's scared, he's very scared.
Kendall doesn't want to go back to Uvalde. She can still hear the gunshots, the shooter walking down the hallway with his gun, and her mother says she can't sleep.
We will get through this. For her, we will.
The family says support and prayers from around the world has carried them. In San Antonio, I'm Cynthia Izaguirre.
This program.
Okay, so that's not much detail, but she's the first to get shot, and then the teacher, and the teacher's on top of her, and somebody pulls the teacher off of top of her.
And the shooter walking down the hallway with his gun.
I don't remember hearing that.
That was a lot toward right at the very end. She said that she still sees and hears the gunshots and
she was hearing the gunshots before he got to the room. Because remember, he wasn't shooting outside.
Mm-hmm.
He was shooting outside.
Okay.
He shot the people across the funeral home. Allegedly, he shot at the windows. He also hid by some cars, they said, in the parking lot. So he was pretty busy. That's why this is weird to me.
Mm-hmm.
To be doing all of this, wrecking a truck, shooting at the people across the street, the funeral home, hiding behind cars in the parking lot. They said a police car went by, didn't see him because he was ducked down by a car. Just
wow.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's just, stuff is just very odd to me, honey. Okay, let me go pull up that one with the little boy. I have to go back a little ways in here on my post. Let's see. Just strange, ain't it?
It is. It's very strange. It's strange and it's hard.
You go to my post. I post all the latest I could find, because there's so many.
Yeah. Like I want to know how many students altogether was in each class.
They haven't given an account of that. How many kids were in there? I thought that was strange.
Because usually it's more than 15. It's maybe 20, 25 in each class, isn't it? I would think no more than 30 per class, but it's a pretty good amount per class.
Let's see, I'm about getting close to it. Hold on. Because there was so many videos I done. Let's see. Come on now. Let's see. That's Daddy crying. Okay. I got one with the 10-year-old survivor girl, and then I've got another one with the children who survived. Let me see if I got the one with the little boy. Let me see if this one is.
Today, Ken Molestina speaking to a number of residents through this afternoon.
Well, following the updates that were offered by Texas DPS earlier today, I can tell you that there is a general sense of frustration and anger within the community here in Uvalde. Of course, it has been 3 days now, and the information that came out earlier today is not sitting well with this community who is heavily grieving at this moment. Much of the frustration that we're talking about here is centered around some of the misinformation that was offered to the public by law enforcement. They offered that information early on in the investigation.
This is uploaded 10 days ago.
Police officials is now very palpable following heavy criticism that they didn't do enough to stop the shooter and they waited too long to take him out. Over at the Town Square Memorial, about 2 miles from the school, the 21 crosses there remain and the memorial continues to grow. More mourners have been stopping by to drop off flowers and candles, and among the prayers there was also a lot of frustration. I spoke to the family members of one of the victims, Eliana Torres, who say their grief is now laced with anger.
We are supposed to trust them to drop off our child and pick them up at the end of the day, So, I mean, yes, you need to. I could feel the rage. I could feel the energy here in this town, and it's sad. People are mourning, people are grieving. People want answers. Everybody.
A lot of families are mad right now because there was a lot of things they could have done to prevent what happened. Like the cops waiting for longer than waiting outside.
So again, 3 days now, 2 very high-profile news conferences that have taken place over here. Community members say they are now preparing for this presidential visit that will take place on Sunday. President Joe Biden, along with his wife, the First Lady Jill Biden, will be in Uvalde. They'll be here to pray and to mourn along with this community. That's the latest in Uvalde. Kendall Olivas, CBS 11 News.
As you know, we did get that update earlier from DPS, right? So we want to give you a clear look at the timeline that we now have. Officials have told us what happened Tuesday morning in Uvalde. As you'll see, everything happened here very, very quickly. And at some moments here, at the same time. 11:27, video shows the door that the gunman used to get inside the school. We now know it was propped open by a teacher. 11:28, the gunman crashes a vehicle into a ditch. Then, the teacher who left the door propped open runs inside the school to get a phone, but the door remained open. At the same time, two men at a nearby funeral home run to the crash scene, but turn around after the gunman starts shooting at them while running toward the school. 11:30, a 911 call about the crash and a man with a gun. 11:31, the gunman hides behind cars in the school's parking lot. That's when police arrive at the school and find a teacher at the back door, but they don't see the gunman. This is also the point when the gunman starts shooting at the school. 11:32, the gunman gets into the school, through the propped open door, turns down a hallway, and starts shooting into a classroom. Police say based on audio evidence, the gunman shot more than...
Let me stop right there.
Wait a minute.
How are you at the door with her and he's still able to get into the door?
Exactly. And he was shooting toward the school. Did I hear that correctly?
See, that's when I told you about him hiding in the parking lot. Remember I said he was all over the place? So
yeah.
Now we got the men running towards the crash, I guess, to check on him or see what's going on. And then he starts shooting at them. So they run, I guess, back toward the funeral home. So then now he's running toward the school, shooting at the school. Then he's also in the parking lot hiding. Remember I told you the officer said I drove by looking for him, but I didn't see him? Mm-hmm. Maybe this is the same officer who met up with her at the door.
And he was shooting toward the school.
Another commentary, well, you don't hear that an officer was at the door. That she just went in, got a phone, came back, went back. Let me play it again. This is strange. Hold on, baby. Oh, Lord, this is getting worse by the minute.
By a teacher. 11:28, the gunman crashes a vehicle into a ditch. Then, the teacher who left the door propped open runs inside the school to get a phone, but the door remained open. At the same time, two men at a nearby funeral home run to the crash scene, but turn around after the gunman starts shooting at them while running toward the school. 11:30, a 911 call about the crash and a man with a gun. 11:31, the gunman hides behind cars in the school's parking lot. That's when police arrive at the school and find a teacher at the back door, but they don't see the gunman. This is also the point when the gunman starts shooting at the school. 11:32, the gunman gets into the school, through the propped open door, turns down a hallway, and starts shooting into a classroom. Police say based on audio evidence, the gunman shot more than 100 rounds at this time. 11:35, 3 police officers entered the school through the same door the gunman used. They are followed by other officers. The first 3 officers go toward the classroom where the gunman is with the door closed, and they were shot. 11:37, another 16 rounds fired by the gunman.
Okay, let's stop right there. So that's 11:35. They're at the door. Mm-hmm. So that contradicts the girl saying he must have shot very fast.
Yeah, they said
when he turned the corner, he must have shot fast going into the room because the girl is saying he shot everybody in the room and then went to the hallway. Let me backtrack that. Let's backtrack.
Through the propped open door, turns down a hallway, and starts shooting into a classroom.
11:32.
Based on audio evidence,
he goes
the
into
gunman
school.
shot more than 100 rounds at this time. 11:35. 3 police officers entered the school through the same door the gunman used.
So he already shot the kids allegedly before they got there.
The first 3 officers go toward the classroom where the gunman is with the door closed, and they were shot. 11:37. Another.
Let's go back. Let's go back to that again.
The gunman. This is also the point when the gunman starts shooting at the runs inside the school to get a phone, but the door remained open. At the same time, 2 men at a nearby funeral home run to the crash scene, but turn around after the gunman starts shooting at them while running toward the school. 11:30, A 911 call about the crash and a man with a gun. 11:31. The gunman hides behind cars in the school's parking lot. That's when police arrive at the school and find a teacher at the back door, but they don't see the gunman. This is also the point when the gunman starts shooting at the school. 11:32. The gunman gets into the school, through the propped open door, turns down a hallway, and starts shooting into a classroom.
Let's stop. So where was he at with the teacher? He was shooting at the school.
Okay, say that again.
Where was the boy at shooting at the school? Do you understand what I'm saying? Because he was at the school while this man's at the door with the teacher. Remember he said, I got there and I didn't see him? So so you have to keep playing it to make it make sense.
Because he was at
Let's go back.
I was listening to it and she said that there was 2 officers with the teacher.
Turns down a hallway.
No, wait a minute. Let's start over.
We now know it was propped open by a teacher.
11:27, open the door.
The gunman crashes a vehicle into a ditch.
1 minute later, he crashes.
The teacher who left the door propped open runs inside the school to get a phone, but the door remained open. At the same time, 2 men in a nearby funeral home run to the crash scene, but turn around after the gunman starts shooting at them while running toward the school. 11:30, a 911 call about the crash and a man with a gun. 11:31, the gunman hides behind cars in the school's parking lot. That's when police arrive at the school and find
So he was
teacher
hiding
at the back door, but they don't see the gunman. This is also the point when the gunman starts shooting at the school.
Okay.
11:32, the gunman gets into the school,
a minute
through
later,
the propped open door, turns down a hallway, and starts shooting into a classroom. Police say based on audio evidence.
So 11:32, he's in there shooting.
100 rounds at this time. 11:35, 3 police officers entered the school through the same door the gunman used. They are followed by other officers. The first 3 officers go toward the classroom where the gunman is with the door closed, and they were shot. 11:37, another 16 rounds fired by the gunman. 11:51, more police officers arrive. 12:15, the Border Patrol Tactical Unit arrives. 12:21, the gunman.
So that's like 16-minute interval from the time they first get to the door till the other ones come in.
Okay.
About 16 minutes, because I'm looking at the time on the phone right now. So about 16 minutes from when they emerged, had gunfire with him at the door till the time more officers showed up. 16 minutes. If I go back.
Start shooting again.
Hold on.
Entered the school through the same door the gunman used.
11:35, they enter the school.
Other officers. The first 3 officers go toward the classroom where the gunman is with the door closed.
11:35.
11:37, another 16 rounds fired by the gunman. 11:51,
That's 2 minutes.
more police officers arrive.
11:51, more come.
The Border
16
Patrol
minutes.
Tactical Unit arrives. 12:21, the gunman starts shooting again, possibly at the door of the classroom he's in. 12:50, police use a key they got from
30
the school
minutes.
janitor. They open the classroom door.
30 minutes from when he shoots at the door to 12:51 when they breach the door. So that's the lie. That's been called a lie right there. He shoots again at 12:20 something. 12:31 or so. Hold on.
And kill the gunman. Based on audio evidence, the gunman shot more than 100 rounds at this time. 11:35, 3 police officers entered the school through the same door the gunman used. They are followed by other officers. The first 3 officers go toward the classroom where the gunman is with the door closed, and they were shot. 11:37, another 16 rounds fired by the gunman. 11:51, more police officers arrive. 12:15,
14
the
minutes.
Border Patrol Tactical Unit arrives. 12:21, the gunman starts shooting again, possibly at the door of the classroom he's in. 12:50, police use a key they got from the
Almost
school
30 minutes
janitor.
later with a key.
Open the classroom door and kill the gunman.
So 12:50 is the end. So you're still talking minutes for minutes in between each action. 16 minutes, 14 minutes or so is an interval from the time he engaged in gunfire with the officers to the time extras came in the room, into the school.
Right.
Him shooting outside and you didn't see him, but yet he goes to the same door that you were standing at the door with the teacher.
Right. So the
proximity? So what's the proximity from the parking lot to that door? Left of the building, right of the building? Don't know.
Okay, because I kept listening. Am I hearing that right? That there were officers there talking to the teacher at the back door. He shoots towards them.
No, he's shooting at the school, meaning we don't know where he was because they're not saying where he was when he shot. Was he feet away from you? You couldn't see him. You heard the gunshots. Just that he's hiding. Remember, he was hiding when he's over here talking to her at the door. Because remember I told you, an officer said I drove by and didn't see nobody shooting because he was hiding in the parking lot. So that's why I'm now saying, well, where is the parking lot to where the door is? How far was the parking lot to the back door, side door, which is ever, to where nobody could see him? Because now we're hearing he's standing there talking to the teacher. So that means, how many of y'all went through a damn door now that was never locked?
Right. And the teacher was at that door that heard gunshots. She didn't think, let me shut this door.
Well, allegedly she did shut it.
It just didn't lock.
It didn't lock. It was supposed to lock allegedly. But see, another thing, the versions changed. She allegedly was going to the car to get food. So see, each version is different. 1 minute is she went to prop the door open to go get food. So then I asked you all those questions a week ago. I said, okay, well, if you went to get food, how did you open the door? Because in order for you to prop it open, mean you knew when you left the area that you would have a lot of stuff that you couldn't hold the door open and hold the food in your hand too.
Right.
So how are you
prop the door open? Because
why are you going back into the door with food, holding the phone? See, none of it makes no sense. You're gonna hold the phone, hold the food, and hold the door shut. That's another version. She was holding the door shut. So you're holding the door shut like he's on the other side trying to get in that door.
She's holding the door shut, but not worrying about getting shot?
That's what I'm trying to explain to you. Every time I go get a version, I go to a news source, there is a different version about her and that fucking door. 1 minute it's propped open. The next minute she's running back in with a phone. She kicked the rock. She's on tape kicking the rock, but she thought the door was closed. And another version is she was holding the door closed. Well, if I'm running for my life, I ain't going to be holding the door because I thought it locked, remember?
Right.
So that's why she has a lawyer.
Because it's making no sense.
None of it makes no sense. You getting discrepancies with how many were there, why you waited, where they engaged in gunfire, then the issue with her in the door, her going to the car to get food. See, when the story was first told, it was just that she went inside to go get her phone. So I thought maybe she was just outside doing something with the kids and then said, oh, I left my phone, I'm gonna go get my phone. Then the version changed to she went out to the car to get food. So then I started wondering about recess. So then now you got this little girl talking about recess. So that ain't got nothing to do with this teacher, because now we know this teacher is not the teacher who got shot in the room. Because some people think this is one of the teachers that died. It is not. This woman is alive and well. This woman has no affiliation with those two classrooms.
Right. See, when I heard, okay, she went to go get her phone, I thought, okay, she went to her classroom to get a phone so she can call about the wreck.
Yes.
Just like the people at the funeral.
Yes.
Home. Is what I'm thinking.
Right.
So the back is facing wherever this.
So why are we going back out though? But why would we be going back out? Wouldn't you be going in only one time if you were outside at the time? But then that makes no sense, because then we hear she heard gunfire as she was coming outside and saw him, and then she runs back in to try to shut the door, go get a phone. I don't know.
Then who the heck was she talking to at the back door?
The police. Now that version.
And then why didn't the police go into the school? Run into the school? Where did they run to in order for the dude to run in?
That's my point. Right. So if you're talking to him at the door, he's already in the parking lot. See, he ain't made it over in the room on this version. He's somewhere hiding while she and the officer are talking about the shooting. So while they're talking, he's shooting, but obviously they don't know where he's at shooting. So let's just say he's somewhere on the other side, somewhere where they can't see him. So then that means what? She went inside, and then, like you said, where did the officer go? Because now we have a version that the child says she was trying to lock the outside of the door, and he's grabbing the door at the same time. So where was this officer when she went back in to go back to her classroom? Obviously, she was going to her classroom, which was another room, because this is where we're getting confused. She's not one of the teachers that's dead.
Right.
But she went to her own classroom. So she's out of the picture when she goes to her room. So then let's go to then where was this officer at when the woman was pulling and tugging on the door?
Right. Because I mean, if you're at the door talking, if you're an officer and you're at the door talking to this teacher and y'all hear gunshots and he's going toward the school, why wouldn't you be in the school with the teacher? Where the heck did you take off to?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Did he go outside somewhere else looking for the shooter? Because remember they said the boy was ducking down, hiding behind the cars or side of the cars. So maybe the officer went somewhere else and she went back into school to her classroom. And then this, wherever he left and went to, that gave the advantage for the shooter to then go to that door. Because remember they said he entered in the door that was propped open. Are we now saying the door is what? Closed or open? Because the girl says, I closed the door, kicking the rock. So that means he went in, allegedly, a shut door per her version. But it didn't lock behind her. So that's another question. Does the door automatically lock when you shut it from the inside? But then you got to ask this question. If she propped it open, then that means the door either locks from outside once you close it, coming from the inside, or she propped it open to actually go get food to enter back in the door because she knew her hands are going to be full.
Right.
So we don't know.
No.
So
right.
we don't even
I know.
We don't know if the door locks or she went to the car to get stuff and propped the door open because her hands were going to be full. Which is it?
See, I know at mine's school, we can't go into the back doors because they lock. So, and someone from the inside has to open it. Like I do know that.
Yeah. But see, that's the whole point. That hasn't been discussed. I haven't heard any commentary if indeed the door automatically locks when you walk outside. So maybe she propped the door open because she knew the door would lock once you shut it, once you go out the door. But then that
and
can't
then to
be
get back
true
in.
because then how did he get in unless she's lying about the door and the door stayed propped open the whole time?
And she just
that would make no sense if he's somewhere over here hiding and the police is at that same door with her. Common sense would be they'd shut the door because you got a madman running around shooting.
Right. That's what I kept. I'm like, wait a minute. There's officers with her. Where the heck were they at? I'm not understanding.
I don't know. See, that's the whole point. We don't know where that officer went that allegedly talked to her. She shuts the door. So then we have to ask ourselves, she had to have kicked the rock allegedly after she went back in. So that means she had to kick the rock after talking to the officer. So that means that door was open while you're talking to the officer. Would it not? I don't know.
I mean, that's how I took it. Was the door was wide open. She's talking to the officers, and even when I'm because she played that more than once, I'm like,
when you get the other version of that, it's not even, you don't even hear her saying anything about an officer. Just I went back out, saw him coming, and then I ran back in, kicked the rock, and went back inside. There's no mention of a police officer being there at the door.
Wow. Like you said, for real, all you can bank on is what the kids are talking about.
Yeah.
because the grown-ups are too busy covering their asses.
Let's see what he says. One more minute.
A number of survivors of Tuesday's shooting are now coming forward to begin to share the stories of what happened inside the school.
The shooter shot through the window and hurting my friend and my teacher. We were running out of the doors because like 2 police cars were covering our doors if the shooter was gonna come in. And then we just ran out of the room. So I was praying, thinking, why is this happening?
From the mouths of our children. This is 11-year-old Mia Cerrillo. She shared her brave story off camera. She says the gunman came into her classroom, said goodnight, and then shot her teacher. When he walked away, she smeared blood on herself, actually, and played dead to survive.
We say it all the time, kids are resilient, and they are. But kids witnessed
News Nation is the source
this week. 2nd, 3rd, and 4th graders watched and listened as their classmates and teachers were killed on Tuesday. They hid quietly, scared. A little boy named Giovanni Gomez is one of those kids. And we want you to listen tonight as he describes that experience.
They said, there is an active shooter on campus. Please go inside your classrooms. I don't know how to describe it, but I was really scared and shaken up. And we had to go like that in case if they hit the window and
he's putting his head behind his hands behind his head.
If the shooter hits the window and it comes flying in our classroom, it doesn't hit us and stuff. We just stood next to each other, sit next to each other, and we just hold on to each other, hugging. We were whispering because we didn't know what to do. We were scared, so we were just talking about what happened before. Why did this happen? And why is he doing this? I was just glad that my teachers were there to protect me, because they're standing near the door in case if the shooter breaks in and shoots. What I'm trying to say is the teacher will block the bullets with their bodies so we can run and save our lives. I'm just scared that if I go back to school, it's going to happen again.
I think he's in another classroom.
Kids are resilient, but that 3rd grader just described his teacher blocking bullets as he hugged his classmates in the cafeteria, wondering if the gunman was going to go after them next. What will Giovanni do in the fall when he has to go back to school? And so many other kids face a fear that we didn't have when we were going to school. We had tornado drills and fire drills, but this is much different. Thank you for watching. Click the red subscribe button.
Hold on, because I was supposed to show you that, and we got to talking. I meant to show you what the little boy was. They got different versions. I'm trying to find the one where the little boy was on the sofa. Let me see. Go ahead, you can talk, baby. About 5 minutes.
I'm gonna have to look around. I think I saw.
I'm in the queue now, and I thought I had it on my post, but I can't find it. Where the little boy. They got his face covered. He's sitting on the sofa. I thought I had it. That's what's weird. Why don't I have it? Go ahead.
I think I saw somewhere. I think it was Facebook or something, where someone was recording the shooter going in. Or in the back of the school or something. But I have to look around.
Okay. I was trying to thought I had it when the little boy was talking. Let me see. Let me see. Is this here?
But that didn't stop one of my friends getting hurt. The shooter shot through the window.
That's on the window.
Hurting my friend and my teacher. My teacher got hurt on what, I don't know which side, but she got hit on the side.
That might be when he was shooting at the windows.
Okay, I was about to say it could be when he was shooting at the school, right?
Yeah, shooting at the schools all the same. Shooting at the windows.
Yeah.
The windows.
Yeah.
Shooter said an officer helped him and his classmates escape through a window, but not before the shooter had killed his friends.
McKenna, Tess, Annabelle, basically almost some of them, basically almost all of them.
Jaden's pain, not physical, but emotionally paralyzing.
No, because after what happened, no.
Do you ever want to go back to school?
I don't want to know what, because I don't want anything to do with another shooting and me in the school.
You scared it might happen again?
Your shipping manager left to find himself.
Play this.
Is your home just as hot inside as it is outside?
All these commercials, Lord have mercy. They got search warrants, evidence collected at shooter's home. Let's see what they talk about here.
Investigators to perform a forensic download of the gunman's iPhone, searched the pickup truck he abandoned near the school and the home where he was living.
The affidavits say two men first saw the gunman dressed completely in black, standing by the pickup and loading a rifle. The two witnesses ran into a funeral home as the shooter fired in their direction and then at the school. Officers looking for the shooter walked by injured students suffering from gunshot wounds and discovered multiple casualties throughout the hallways and classrooms. After 18-year-old Salvador Ramos was shot and killed, investigators found a black iPhone 13 Pro Max next to him. The warrant says they're searching for text messages, voicemail messages, and photographs. In the truck, they collected one rifle and 15 magazines of ammunition, a blood stain on the center console, and DNA swabs. From the house, investigators took 3 more phones, a laptop, swabs of blood stains, and clumps of hair.
The announcement is written as clear as day. Students and staff will not return to Robb Elementary next school year. The announcement comes 1 week after 19 students and 2 teachers were killed in the country's second worst elementary school shooting.
I'm glad that students are not going to have to go back to Robb Elementary. No student should have to go back to the place of that tragedy.
We caught up with Congressman Joaquin Castro, who says it is possible to raise the school before August. As for rebuilding a new school by that time,
I'm, of course, not an expert on school construction, but I think where there's a will, there's a way.
So how can Texas secure the federal dollars needed for this?
There is money already, a program in the Department of Education that provides some money in this situation, but there's also the ability for the federal Congress to appropriate money specifically for this purpose.
We reached out to Governor Greg Abbott's office to see if he is working to...
I don't hear nothing about them government people. Go ahead, baby. I'm trying to find that little boy. For some reason I can't find it. It's strange.
So he had his phone out when he got shot and killed.
Probably was filming. I don't know. They say it was beside him.
Yeah. So that's what makes me wonder, like, okay, I wonder if he contacted somebody. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah.
Like, who was he was he talking to someone? Like you said, was he recording? Did he put out there on video his reason? I know he had a whatchamacallit, but it makes you wonder, why did he have his phone out? You know what I mean? Did you call 911?
Could have been filming on.
Yeah.
Could have been filming, talking to somebody, texting people. Could have been uploading pictures of what he done. So he could have taken pictures. Could have taken pictures. You don't know. It's crazy as hell.
Yeah. It really is. And there's something about his grandfather. I don't know. I don't trust him either. It's something about him.
He only shot the grandmother. Very, very strange. Why not shoot the grandfather?
Right. And he doesn't know anything about him or anything.
That's when he was talking. I was wondering, well, do you even live in the house?
Yeah.
I mean, you understand what I'm saying? I was just trying to understand, did he even live in the house?
Because at first it made me wonder, okay, wait a minute. When was this dude's birthday? Did you help buy a gun? And you just don't want to talk about it? I felt some kind of way about the grandfather.
Well, I think he bought those guns himself. He was making from working at Wendy's.
I don't No, it's just
Very,
sad.
it's all sad. I was trying to find the one for the little boy that was talking because I thought I had that video. It's weird. Oh Lord, what do you think about the shooting in Chattanooga? You see where I said I've been to Mary's before?
No, first thing I thought though, no joke, was please don't let that be anywhere that you go to. I thought, Lord have mercy. Y'all know she travels.
For my birthday. I went there for my birthday in January. I went there that Saturday night. I went to that T something on that Friday night, and Saturday night I went to Mary's.
Oh, yeah. Like that was the first. Like I'm like, oh my goodness.
So can you imagine? I've been wanting to go back to Chattanooga, but not maybe not to Mary's, because Mary's had more of a younger crowd. But I've been in there. That's what's so weird, is because you hear all these stories of people shooting, killing people, but you're not there. You've never been there. You don't know the people. But it's a different feel when you've been at that location. You've been in that building before. When I saw it on the news and I opened the article, I saw it and I looked at the building. And I said, wait a minute. Now, I went to that place in the dark, but that looks like the place because the picture is in daylight. I said, that's Mary's. That's the first thing I said to him. I said, this is Mary's. I was floored. I'm telling you, man. I was floored.
I've never understood what is the point. Like, it's to the point where you, for real, you can't go nowhere. Can't have nothing good. People just shoot up just to shoot up.
Times. I mean, they don't care.
No. And you're thinking,
you know what I'm wondering? Did it start inside? That's what I'm curious about. Did an altercation start inside, and then that made them go outside? You understand what I'm saying? Because they got a van shot like right in front of Mary's, so they were like right there. It's roped off right in front of the building. It wasn't like somebody was probably shooting from down the street. I believe they were doing gun battle right there in that parking area that's in front of the building.
I don't even, that's why I don't go to clubs. I'm like, you know what? I just stay home. I'm all right. Did you see where you can't even, they shut down that gentleman's club?
What gentleman's club?
The one in Knoxville.
The one with over Alcoa Highway?
Yeah.
What about it?
They done shut it down.
Well, I was passing in that vicinity recently, and the cars were in the parking lot.
They're talking. Well, they might not have shut it down, but I know they were talking about shutting it down. This is a nuisance.
I mean, when did you read that? Is what I'm asking.
It was this week or last week. I had to get the article. I think it's WIBR. Hold on.
Go ahead. I'm trying to see if this is one of the stories. Go ahead. You can finish.
I think it was I think I saw it on Facebook, WBIR or WVLT. It was one or the other that was talking about it. Because I thought to myself, even at a strip club, at a gentleman's club?
Yeah, they had a shooting a few months back out there in the parking lot. That's why.
Yeah.
Well, obviously, they've had some issues before that. So.
Yeah. And that's what they were talking about, how it's a nuisance.
Yeah. I'm trying to see if I can find some.
The Robb Elementary School fourth grader was in her classroom Tuesday morning when an 18-year-old gunman armed with an AR-15
Let's see this other rifle. I can't find the one with the little boy. I thought I had it on my community post. It's weird.
A bullet came through the wall. It went in between Jillis and Stacy. It went past my arm and hit the table.
Went through the wall.
And her classmates
so he's just shooting randomly.
Supposed to be a fun
yeah, so he's shooting through the walls and everything. Even in the shooting through the walls. Other two adjoining classrooms.
The teacher turned off the lights and told the students to hide.
We're quiet under the table. I was crying just a little bit.
Lopez says police evacuated their classroom. She said she ran and never looked back.
I was just scared because I thought he would like.
So that's a whole nother classroom.
And, like, shoot
yeah.
Sadly, she would later learn her
I don't think that's the two rooms where he shot the people.
Torres was among the 19
very weird.
students and 2 teachers who were killed. Like many family members who first arrived on scene, Lopez's grandmother was desperate to get inside.
I don't know what to do. I mean, I wanted to jump the fence and see what's going on.
Witness video from the day of the shooting shows frantic parents pacing outside Robb Elementary School in Uvalde,
This is sad.
begging police officers
It really is.
to confront the gunman.
You know that they're kids, right? They're little kids.
Oh no, I didn't know. I didn't see the McConaughey speaking. Yeah, he's from Uvalde.
The police response to the video was recorded, but we do know from DPS it was a.
Let me Google this right quick. Hold on. Young boy speaks of Uvalde shootings. Okay, this.
Showing results for Young Boy Speaks.
Okay, here's
Uvalde
one right
shootings.
here. Here's one right here. This is the one I found. Hold on. There's two of them they got. Okay. Okay, this is KHOU 11, everybody. Thousand commercials. They do. I mean, just 1,000 of them. You can't even get to the content.
Most of them just 10 years old in the 4th grade.
Yeah, this morning we're learning more about those victims of what is the deadliest school shooting in state.
This is what I've been searching for to show you.
Include a 4th grader.
Okay.
Who, according to his father, was ready to play until nighttime. A 10-year-old who loved football and video games, and a little girl who wanted to go to law school, just like her mother. The Uvalde community also mourning 2 teachers killed in that shooting, including one who was just named Teacher of the Year. So far, 20 of the 21 victims have been identified. You're looking at them right now. We've learned they were all in the same 4th grade classroom when they were murdered. Somehow, several of their classmates survived. Argochi Iloka joins us now with one little boy's story.
Ugochi, this is a story that's very difficult to hear. Kimberly and David really is. And this Bree, the 4th grader, says that they were just watching a movie right after PE class when his teacher yells, "Turn off the TV, we're going on lockdown." Next thing you know, gunshots rang. Now, his parents actually didn't want him to go on camera, this 4th grader, but he insisted. He wanted to share the details of the nightmare that happened Tuesday. Take a listen.
Came in, he says, "It's time to die." And when I heard the shooting through the door, I told my friend to hide under something.
Through the door.
So he won't find us. And when he shot everybody, he shot both of my teachers. And my teacher fell onto the ground.
He says that his teachers, Miss Irma Garcia and Miss Eva Morales, saved their lives. The boy went on to say a girl tried to call police, but when the shooter heard her, he shot her. Cops barged into
That's probably the little girl talking about her.
A shootout followed. He says police then called out, telling kids to yell, "Help if you need help."
See?
The boy says the shooter then killed her and all of his and several other kids in the classroom hid.
There's a table and there's a black curtain on top, and then I told my friend to hide under there, and then one of my classmates got shot 5 times, but when the cops came into our classroom, he said, "Oh my God," when he saw all the dead bodies and blood.
Yeah, this boy and several others.
Still a difference.
Miracle. Some others actually survived all of this. Our hearts just aches in terms of
what you got to say about that. So now you have him saying he shot the teachers. There's still some difference between that and what the little girl said. What he did say is similar to what she did say about the one girl that said the friend got on the phone talking. And he shot her again. So he's saying that here. I guess I'm assuming that's the same kid.
Right.
That he heard talking on the phone and he shot her. But then the thing where I get that version from of them coming in the room right after the teacher said something, that's the version right here where he says they asked us, did we need any help or something? And then he shoots her. Then they come in the room. They breach the door.
Wow.
But the little girl made it seem like everybody was already shot when he went out in the hallway.
Right.
But his version is a little different, if I'm not mistaken.
He could be having bits and pieces from trauma too, like he don't talk about.
Yeah, because she made it seem like everybody was already shot when he left the room and engaged with the police. And then they shot at him, he shot at them, and then he came back in. So see, you don't know the time of when that happened. I mean, I read that off when they said breached the door. I believe that was 11:35.
Mm-hmm.
That's still an hour later when they opened the door at 12:50.
And the way when you read that off, it's like the way the little girl talked, it was as if.
But you know, things move fast to some and slow motion to others. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah. And the way that the little girls were playing it is as if it's just like
boom, boom,
play by play. Yeah.
Yeah, play by play. Yeah.
His is more, the little boys is more, seems to me, is more rapid. Hers is more, I was there. This was happening. This was happening. He went into the hallway. Like she.
But they may not can assess the time because you're scared and you don't know how fast or slow the time is moving.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because really the police are trying to make it seem like, oh, everything happened so fast. Well, we know it didn't. We know it didn't. We were there for a long time from the time allegedly he pulled up, shot at the people outside, shot at whomever outside, hid outside, ran inside, engaged with you all at some point. We don't even really know when he engaged because they're saying one time. I don't really know when you engaged with him.
And it can't really, it can't be that fast when it's been an hour.
In 17 minutes, no, it's not.
It's not. A long time. Yeah. Like it's not a short amount of time. I think
the only fast time is when he actually made it to the room, shot the kids, and then just hung out in the room while they sat outside the door.
Right. While the kids was in there helpless.
Helpless. I don't know.
Helpless, and they knew, okay, if I make any noise. So they couldn't cry. Do you know what I mean?
Well, he told them to be quiet, and you see what he did when you started talking.
Right.
He shot him.
I mean, my standstill is the department needs to be in trouble.
Yeah.
And that dude does not need to be a councilman.
Well, he just got inducted last week at a private ceremony, which I thought was cheesy under the circumstances. You've got people in mourning, still burying bodies, and you're sitting here doing a private ceremony to induct the same person who won't give information about what the hell happened, discrepancies about what happened. You're going to perform a private ceremony for him to be a councilman, a member. Who gives a damn about him being a council member? He's already the chief district of police for the children, for the school district rather, which I guess, like I said, is not the same as the main chief of the Uvalde Police Department. I guess I understood that. I don't think he needs to be worried about being on any official capacity for the city. Let me say that.
Right. No, he shouldn't.
But see, this happened weeks ago when he got voted in. So this happened, his vote in came before the shooting. Let me make that clear to everybody in the chat listening. I don't want to think they just had a vote and he got in, you know,
right.
Two before the shooting.
I might as well let him go ahead and you need to be fired from that as well. You're not needed.
Well, this
I mean, I can't speak. It's not my town, but
let's go here. He got voted in, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you knew the position he had the day the shooting happened. So when they canceled the ceremony the next day after the shooting, which would have been last 2 Wednesdays ago, Why would you even care about having a ceremony when you started getting different versions of what happened? I would have told him we need to rethink about this position for council person since you got all these different versions going around. How about that?
Yeah. Yes. Like that would have been on hold.
That's what I'm saying. There shouldn't even been no ceremony because I think people should have said we need to reassess him even being a city council person under the circumstances.
Yeah. And it's honestly like smack in the face.
It is a smack in the face. Sure is. Anything else you want to add? I get out of here. I'm already 3 hours in.
Well, no, that's it. I enjoyed talking to you today.
You too. I hope everything's well where you are.
It's going great.
Sunny because you were supposed to have thunderstorms all this week. I said, man, what a bad week we're having because the sun's down.
Yeah, it's sunny and stuff. We had to tear down our deck to the pool because a few weeks back when we had that high wind and rain.
Yeah.
It knocked down the deck, so
oh my God,
we tore it down and stuff.
Was it a newly built deck?
No, it was here before we moved in. It just came in with the house, the pool and the deck did.
Oh, I see.
So,
that's not on the pool.
Oh, we have to get it redone. We have to buy a new lining and everything.
Overhaul.
Yeah, because right now it's just a pond for frogs. Frogs is enjoying it.
Oh, Lord. Not the frogs.
Yeah.
And any other critter that want to come along.
Yeah, so me, I'm like, let me go ahead and see if we can make a little post on who wants to come and fix it because I'm not doing it.
Oh, yeah. Well, just go to Facebook Marketplace and make sure it's reputable and that person comes with good references so you don't get cheated about no money.
Yeah, and oh, no. You ain't getting paid till you do the job. I'm not doing this.
But we know we've heard a story that happened here a few years ago where a woman paid to get the hole dug at her house, and that's all he did. She gave him about 17,000, I think, or more to start the process. So he got him a good 17 or more just to dig the hole. Never came back, and I can't remember if they ever found him or not.
And there she sat.
Yeah, with a hole.
You ain't getting no kind of money. You're not getting a down payment.
Oh, yeah, because that person going to want a down payment to start the process of anything.
You might get $2.
And that's where your problem lies. Because once you give up that type of lump sum, to me, it wouldn't have mattered if it was 1,000. It's still 1,000 of your money gone if the person disappears. Because you got to multiply a person doing a job for $1,000, just say, to get started. Well, if you hit 7 people in a week that you start a job on just digging a hole, and then poof, disappeared. Then you go over here to South Carolina, dig a hole. Then you go over here, you see where I'm going? Then you go over here and dig a hole. Well, you done made a nice little piece of lump sum of money. Yes. Just to dig a hole and then
digging holes.
But you get what I'm saying? Dig a hole, or let's say I'm gonna put your cabinets up, and let's just say the job is $10,000, and then you say, well, I need a down payment of $3,000. Well, you start knocking down stuff, half doing something, and then don't never come back. You still got a couple $1,000.
Right, because you already got the money. That's why they don't come back. They already got some money. They good to go.
Because I don't care what nobody say. Let's say the job was about, I think, $30,000 for the swimming pool. Somebody just got 17 out of you. They done made a nice lump sum.
They're good.
They got a nice lump sum.
Yes. Yep.
Wow, that's deep.
And hell, I can say my name's Dave. Do you know what I mean?
Well, that's why you get credentials. You get an ID. You ask if they're licensed. You call the Better Business Bureau. You just don't let nobody take your money. You call to make sure they're verifiable. They don't have any type of negative ratings with the bureau. They don't got any warrants out for them for defrauding people for things, because they can change their name. They can also change the name of the company, and a lot of people do that. They go from county to county changing their names, and that's a look. We've seen that with a travel agency out of Clinton, Tennessee, booking cruises and things. And next thing you know, the people go to see about their money and this and that. The doors is closed, got to sign up. Sorry, we're out of business. So now you then gave money for a cruise or a trip, and the company's no longer in existence. That's messed up.
Right. Well, I mean, that's why we're dealing with what we're dealing with now is whoever it was that put the pool in and paid for it,
Yeah.
they got ripped off. The deck
I
wasn't even cemented. Like, you know how you do the holes and then you put the big pieces of wood in there to make the big
yeah.
deck.
Yeah.
Okay, there was no cement around it or nothing.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't secured or anything.
Yeah, you have to be careful with hiring people to do anything for your home. I don't care if it's the driveway, the roof, cabinetry, plumbing.
Hmm.
You better go to somebody that's got a good reputation in the community. They got a solid business, such as you can go to the business, not a business at their house,
Hmm.
not a house address, a real business with real doors that lock and close. You see where I'm going?
Yes. Oh yeah.
Because when you do that word of mouth, then they don't have a reputable business where you can go to the place and they got a waiting area, sitting area, real people that are answering the phone.
Mm-mm. Like our thing is now is just somebody come, just even if you want the pool, you can take it. You just gotta order you a liner. You can even have the metal decking that goes around it.
Okay.
But we just want our own a different pool because whoever bought this and set it up, for goodness sakes, there's trees growing out of it.
Girl, I can't.
Like it makes no. I'm like, how in the heck do you go from? I mean, like I think it was like 4 years ago we had it up and running.
Yeah.
To for real, a little mini tree is growing up out of it because they did not dig it correctly and put the outside of the pool in. They didn't do none of that right.
Something. So what you got to either cut the tree down so the tree don't come up in the next pool if you decide to put a pool in this place.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, problems.
They even whenever they did ran the electricity down there to where the pool is, they didn't do that correctly. That has to be redone.
Oh, Lord.
Like it's a whole money pit is what we've realized. Because when we had it up and running, the breaker would it would like click over.
Trip,
yeah, it would trip.
That's dangerous too.
Yes. And I'm like, okay, they don't have this stuff set up completely correct at all.
Well, you know what? You might have to build just a nice outdoor area with a waterfall with some a fake waterfall going down a wall and pretend you're near the ocean or something.
That works for me.
No, I'm just saying, build a nice patio with nice chairs and flower beds and things like that, and fake trees in the pots, whatever, and then build a nice little waterfall wall where you just have water streaming down.
Yeah. I mean, that does actually sound nice. I'm even fine with a fire pit.
A channel called Abode I subscribe to off of YouTube, and they give all type of great ideas for things like that for outdoor gardening. You know, a nice garden, outdoor patio scenery. I've seen it done. I believe it was a show that came out of Canada, and they built this nice looking patio, and one of the walls built had waterfall. It was a wall made of a waterfall. And it was tranquil, hearing the little water running or whatever. And guess what? You ain't got to fool with nothing. Just let the water run. It filters out on its own. And there you have it.
And what's the name of this?
I watched it on the Abode channel. Just subscribe to ABODE.
Okay.
And they have different people on there with design shows and things.
Okay, yeah. I'm gonna have to check that out.
Other than for it's a guy team. I think they do gardening, backyard remodeling.
I'm ready to hook up my flower beds. I'm wanting to get some elephant ears and go ahead and get them started.
Pretty.
Yeah. My mama, she rest in peace. She used to have elephant ears.
Okay.
So I want to grow them.
The green is
yes.
So.
Yeah. So.
Well, thank you for joining me. Sorry I kept you all so long, but I'll be back with some more commentary a little later on.
All right. You have a good you have a good Monday.
Now I'm gonna try to take a quick ride while got a chance to show off another little vehicle, so I'm getting ready to go stunt for a minute.
Oh, okay then. You know it's sunshine outside, so yeah.
I'll get ready to go. Thank you, baby.
All right. Love you.
Love you too. Bye-bye. Thank you all so much for following the content. The first content was pertaining to rapper Trouble. He was viciously murdered in a woman's apartment down in Conyers, Georgia. I brought you the said information. Mr. Jones is had a bond hearing this morning. He has no bond. When I get more information pertaining to that story, I will bring the information and post it to my community board. And also Uvalde, should there be an investigation, criminal investigation against the chief of police of the district, school district, and the officers who were on hand, should they be held accountable? Should they lose their position, resign, and or be fired, and also brought up on charges of gross negligence in the deaths of the children and the teachers in Uvalde? Thank you all so much for joining me. If you'd like to donate to the channel, $Big Angie 129 Cash App. God bless all of you. Stay safe. I'll talk to you guys later.